There we are.
All
Hello?
right.
How are we sounding?
Hopefully I am relatively audible. I understand to make this stream work, I am being picked up by the speakers.
Yeah. Try's audio is coming through the back audio.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have to wear headphones. So yeah, here we are. John Linneman from Digital Foundry is joining us in person today,
And in person, as we will make an annual thing, I guess.
Oh, Try's a bit weak. He might be. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I bet that'll fix it. Try say something.
Saying something.
Okay.
So, are you just turning me up
louder
on your back speakers?
Yeah, Try should be okay now.
So we're doing Sonic Adventure tonight.
Yeah. We were just gonna play some Contra 3 originally, and then like last minute we decided to do Sonic Adventure. Comparison like we did last year, and we're gonna be comparing the Dreamcast version and the GameCube version.
Yes.
And both, due to certain circumstances with my setup right now, I had to send a cable away to get fixed up a little bit to work better with my Extron. We have to play in 480i for both systems, unfortunately, but that's just the way it is.
But again, that doesn't have a significant impact in this case because that's not where the differences really lie.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I guess this is kind of like a preview run for me because I'm planning to do an episode on this game this year.
And not only that, but you just did. You were just involved with the vinyl release of the soundtrack.
That's right. So I did the booklet for the vinyl release from Brave Wave of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. So yeah, and that's honestly, I think the music's one of my favorite parts of these games. So it's worth checking out.
I mean, it's definitely it's my personal highlight of the game.
Yeah.
And like I said,
See, I know very little about the music in this game. I played only a tiny bit of this game. I've played all of Sonic Adventure 2, but that was the GameCube version.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can hear my son like yelling off in the distance. Hopefully they ambushed us last week.
I can really remember about the Sonic Adventure 2 music is Escape from the City, which is amazing, but I don't know how the music in this game holds up to that. I mean, that would be hard. For me, that would be hard to top because I am not a big Sonic fan at all.
Escape from the City is like a defining moment. Is probably the defining moment of Sonic Adventure 2.
I think the difference I can describe for you, Try, is like, so Sonic Adventure 2 really leans heavy on more of the rock style music. It's a lot faster paced, a lot of guitars, and Sonic Adventure 1 has a more variety filled soundtrack. Like they had 4 or 5 different musicians from what I remember that worked on it, and they all have kind of a different style. So there's, I think that variety is kind of key to the way it works because it really sets the stage well. And I think that's the part that holds up the best.
Yeah,
I see this demo playing of this city level, which I remember from Sonic Generation, which I played not too long ago.
Well, that's
it's based on that, but it's different.
That's surprising they didn't use Emerald Coast in
that would have been cool. And Mellow Gaming is right because this game is extremely buggy.
Yeah.
And we are playing the moderately buggy version. So there's a lot of versions of the Dreamcast game.
Which I had no idea about.
So there's the original Japanese release, which I have as one of the versions I have. And it's the first release. It was super rushed to market to hit the 1998 holiday in December 1998, just a little bit after the Dreamcast launched in Japan. And it's so broken. The frame rate is awful. The camera is much, much worse. It clips through everything. You get stuck in the scenery. It's bad. I mean, it makes a bad impression. They tried to fix it up. So there's that not for resale version that came before the Dreamcast launched, like Hollywood Video had the whole thing going on. So there was an earlier version out that was slightly improved, but not all the way. Then there's the release version at launch, which is a nice improvement. Sonic Team USA, that was their first project to polish up Sonic Adventure.
Interesting.
But then there's another version after that, which is I think the international one, but also it was also in America in the same case, and that has the wavy title screen. So if the
yeah.
water effect on the title screen, that's the last version.
So even the the greatest hits version of the U.S. version was not. They didn't fix that one up.
They didn't fix it.
What was it like?
So
The All Star or whatever it was. Their greatest hits line was on there.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at, and then obviously, the GameCube game came, I believe, after Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes.
For the GameCube, and it's kind of a half-finished port. They broke a lot of things from the Dreamcast version and made some weird changes to it, so it's a bizarre port, and I think we're going to start to kind of get into some of that tonight. So,
yeah,
should we kick it off?
Yeah, let's kick it off.
Switch over to the proper split screen.
There we go.
So, we're just running the attract mode here.
I'll give you a little audio. It's going to be from the Dreamcast version you're going to listen to.
You know, as much as 3D Sonic has had a rocky road, people continue to have significant interest in these games, even when they disappoint. And I have to admit, there is something like strangely compelling about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of I guess I'm like a fair weather Sonic fan. You know, like I like this one a lot, but I haven't played it since it was.
Do a new one.
Oh, you think? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you delete a file?
Oh.
Just to start it completely fresh. Okay, go ahead and choose that.
So do you play through the entire game as one character,
No,
or do you have to play
from a
all
whole
of them to
bunch.
get to the true end?
Yeah, so this screen here, first of all, this is interesting because we're already seeing some differences in the way the character models are shaded. But also, GameCube looks alright here, but it actually ends up being kind of a negative thing. And also the Dreamcast has more texture on Sonic, probably hard to see on the stream. But also notice how on GameCube Sonic actually has fingers.
Yeah, that
only
was the first thing.
Like the circle on his stomach is a lot bigger.
And notice how both are 60 frames per second right now, which is not something that's going to hold steady, especially on Dreamcast. So,
yeah, I mean,
now Dennis here is saying it looks goofy on the Dreamcast, but when we get into the game, things are going to change.
You have to keep in mind, this is the first time that they had really done this style of model for Sonic. And, you know, Mario looks a little goofy in Mario 64, really.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
So his fingers on here are just a texture.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's the thing. That's going to be the theme, I think, with these games, is that some things are better in DX and some things are worse.
And not only that, but I mean, you look at the GameCube version, and it's like a much more, you know, like the modern Sonic. You know, because like later, like after Sonic Adventure 2, they kind of modeled them more after like the newer drawings, the newer design. You know, the green eyes.
Yep.
And that looks a lot more like them. This kind of looks like halfway between.
Exactly.
Like
that was the very first attempt.
Yeah.
So it's true. Like the way the lighting works on GameCube with the gloss there, they got rid of the actual texture on Sonic, and it's literally just like vertex colors, I guess. It's that's weird.
I don't know what it was.
But so yes, Dreamcast 30 frames per second. GameCube attempts 60 frames per second, but it doesn't really get there all the way, as we'll see. So let's go ahead and start.
All right.
Game go. There he goes. Get that animation. Get the thumb. GameCube does load faster. It's true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because of the.
Remind me who's playing which one?
I'm on GameCube,
and I'm on Dreamcast.
Okay. See, I figured Coury would get the worst version.
Yeah, I guess like if you look at it, the way it's laid on the stream, it's the windows are opposite of where they should be. Whatever. We just set this up with 30 minutes before stream.
It's probably just the way that things are being captured, but The Dreamcast version looks brighter.
Are these FMVs like an engine, or are they?
These are in engine, and you could tell the cutscene animation in this game is garbage.
But
like,
like at the time, like any sort of emotion on a character's face was kind of amazing.
I don't know. I mean, you go back to like Mega Man Legends, and that actually animates better than this.
Right, but that's like a texture, like actual 3D animation was very. I mean, this was a time when even having a moving mouth was like, whoa.
I mean, it's not bad if you like garbage, but it's really not. It's really not great. Like, it's all out of sync. That was always a complaint I had with this game, is the cutscene animation. It's just a cycled it's a cycled animation that occasionally jumps to the next animation. There's no transitions. It's not like a smooth scene playback.
Right. And even this, storyline wise, it's like such a departure from what we'd seen from Sonic up to this point.
So this part we're just gonna have to blast through, and then when we get to the next scene, we can compare.
All right.
Although right away you'll notice the textures are very different here, and they're quite a bit higher resolution on the Dreamcast. If you look at the tile floor, when it kind of zooms out, you'll see what I mean. Let's just pause right there when you can get to it.
Yeah, that'll get you guys more in sync.
So yeah, take a look at the texture under Chaos. Like if I pause there.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's different. It's not bad on the GameCube, but it's actually kind of a lower resolution texture. But still, this part actually looks all right on GameCube.
It looks like the level of detail on I guess more like the texture filtering on Dreamcast looks to me like it's like a foot in front of Sonic.
Oh, it's really, really heavy bitmaps. Or it's bilinear texture filtering.
Right.
Hey, we're almost in sync.
Yeah, almost.
I'll play with you some other time.
Look at that. Like, not even a second worth of difference.
So did Sonic Team handle the port to GameCube?
Look at the lighting difference between them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that just like...
It's missing the specular light from the scene on GameCube.
Where you going?
Yeah, like, that's what like brightens it up a lot, too, right?
Yeah.
You can really see the differences in textures there. I wonder why they would redo that. Like, if that's...
Also, the building geometry is very different back there. The clock tower.
Yeah.
You'll see it's gone on GameCube.
But I can see how at a glance, you would think that, oh, that's a higher quality Sonic model.
Right. The railings
but
missing on GameCube.
Else does look kind of low quality. Like, just looking at Eggman's textures right there, like, I don't know, something is a little off about on GameCube.
GameCube, I think, kind of has better water though.
I just realized I don't have my stream muted entirely.
Oh, seriously. Well, we didn't hear it here.
Well, it was very, very low volume.
So really, if they're hearing you coming out of the speakers, it should be perfectly in sync with what the mixer is getting. So there shouldn't be any difference. Like, if they can hear you coming out of the speakers, it should be completely in sync.
All right, when it cuts, don't touch the stick yet, okay. And we'll get a perfect comparison.
What am I gonna do with you?
So you've already spent like a lot of time thinking about everything they talked about.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. The brick textures are blue on GameCube and pink on Dreamcast.
Well, no, they're actually very similar colors. Like, so on Dreamcast you get the blue and pink tiles. On GameCube it's similar colors but different. They just drastically
different pattern.
It's a different pattern, different texture altogether.
But what I mean is the wall texture is a different color.
Oh yeah. So let's look at the water here.
At a glance, it's kind of like, ooh, it's nice and blue on.
It's shallower. Is it shallower on yours on the GameCube?
So on GameCube, for this part at least, it's just like they use the GameCube's TEV texture environment to do sort of a pixel shader style effect. So there's a little bit of rippling happening, but it's very subtle here. Whereas Dreamcast animation,
you're gonna die.
Oh yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, honestly.
They had to do it to stay consistently. Or you
Let's
mean
look
with
at the doors here. Oh, okay. So look, they got rid of the transparency. Look at
Wow, that is.
See, on the Dreamcast, you can see through the door. See,
Yeah.
whereas on GameCube, it's just the reflection thing.
Is it even a reflection, or is it just a texture?
It's
I'm
an
not seeing it
environment.
move
It's
at
an
all.
environment map texture. It's just
Because it moves. You can see it when you move.
Yeah.
It moves when the camera moves.
But you
Okay,
can't see-
when you were just looking at it in first person.
But this here looks like it's just a texture because it doesn't actually move.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm
it
trying
is.
to say.
It's not. It's an environment map as well on Dreamcast. It's just slightly different implementation.
Oh yeah,
You can see through it. So the thing about Dreamcast is it has like the way it's you can do like arbitrary. I guess it's the tile-based rendering system that it can do. Is you can arbitrarily place like transparent polygons on top of each other, and it'll take care of the sorting. So like you could have like so many different transparent layers, and it'll all sort correctly on Dreamcast, like just based on the way the hardware works. Whereas on the GameCube, it doesn't really work that way. And there's a lot of glitches with transparency in here, and to get around it, they literally had to get rid of a lot of transparent stuff.
Because they could have done it, just would have taken a lot more work.
Yeah, and it would have looked weird. So, can we go out into this area here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I played this.
See, to be honest, I didn't realize that they had like the real looking humans in Sonic Adventure 1. Like that's how little of this game I've played. I've played like, I assume it's the upcoming level is like,
Yeah.
with the orca and all
Yeah,
that.
we
Like
gotta-
I have played
can't-
that,
yeah.
but I've not seen this
We
opening
gotta go to
before.
the beach then.
All right, we have to do the first level, obviously.
Yeah. I hate the analog stick on the Dreamcast. I mean, I just
Yeah, it's
like,
bad. I agree.
such a hard time with it.
All right, let's get into this level.
I love the grass texture on this level because I remember the first time I saw it, I was like just kept the camera on it. I was like, wow, you can like see the individual blades of grass.
As one of the guys
Well,
said
that's
on
what
there,
I was.
it's true.
That's
So-
what I was. That's what I was saying because I thought there were individual blades, and then I saw something later that made me think that my memory was wrong. We'll have to look at when you actually get there.
So,
Because I remember playing it in EB, and I was like, what?
as somebody said,
Oh, you're getting.
there. Oh shoot! I didn't know it was in there.
I didn't realize.
There's,
you could die here either.
The Dreamcast version uses something called the lantern engine for like the lighting, and you can like, from what I recall, like any vertex can be, you can assign like RGB values to all the different textures and vertexes to get like all kinds of cool colors and like sort of lighting effects.
Mm-hmm.
And they use that a lot on Dreamcast to do some cool stuff, and that was completely ripped out on the GameCube. So the lighting system is much more simplistic, and it kind of affects the colors and lighting of everything. But also things like textures. Like, okay, so check out the way they did the texture here on the shoreline. On the GameCube, you can actually see like a really hard. Yeah, see, I'm just trying to do graphics here, guys. I'm gonna get some.
Yeah, let's
some rings.
Yeah, let's kill him. Kill him. That chow. Yeah.
I mean, at a glance, at least, I do feel like
Whoa.
the GameCube water is a little more
What's the
appealing.
monkey? The monkey is doing. it.
Yeah.
The monkey.
I don't love the Dreamcast water, but the shore here, there's that hard line on the GameCube. You see that?
Yeah,
Whereas on Dreamcast,
that is
You
weird.
see like a
they
fade.
handle it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the water is just a little too, I don't know, like it needs a little more transparency on Dreamcast.
Oh, I agree. It's not great.
But I mean,
And-
it
and
was
the
an early game
texture
on the
is-
system. I mean, I remember this being, like on a console. This was the first time where I felt like anti-aliasing was like something that very much was a benefit after
If
the
we get up
S6.
here to the top, let's look around here.
Even though you can
Well-
definitely see like the hard lines and the levels of the anti-aliasing. You know,
There's
you can see-
also the
I don't
frame
think there
rate's
is
already really
anti-aliasing,
erratic
really.
on the GameCube because they try to go for 60 frames, but it doesn't really hold. Oh, so an
Oh, did
interesting
you already
thing
go?
about
Did you already do the loop?
Yeah. Something about the way the water works on GameCube. Look at the way when the rings intersect the water, how it sort of like actually has an effect on it.
Oh yeah, you can see like a square transparency around it. Like a
Exactly.
weird-
I saw the.
But you see
Oh,
any of
that is really weird. It's super strange.
But none of that here.
You can see it on the tree actually, as well. Like, look at the trees passing in front of it. It's because of it's like the it's the TEV again with the pixel shader style. It's not actually pixel shaders, but you know. Also, this is cool. They use like transparent geometry on GameCube to draw like shadows in some stages, like 2 stages. See how there's a shadow here?
Mm-hmm.
It's faked, but you know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it gives a little more atmosphere.
All right, let's go. Let's just race through some of the stage here.
Yeah.
I saw
I mean-
the grass texture.
All right.
a while
I
back.
love. See, in
And
my mind, it looked a
can
lot
see
better
why I
than
thought it was
this.
so good.
But I mean, at the time, you know, this is like one of the best grass textures at the time, and I think it was only surpassed by the first Halo,
Yeah.
which had great grass textures. I mean, I've obviously thought about it.
Ooh.
Yeah, the
How's it
grass
there?
made a
On here,
huge
so it's a
impression
lot
on
better.
me, and
What do
when
you
I
think?
saw it again a while later, I
Straight
was
down.
like, "Wait, it's actually flat." It just didn't look
I
it at
think
the
it's the same
time.
texture.
Yeah, but it looks good. I mean, from a distance. So
Yeah,
you know how you can see like the anti-aliasing, like the levels of intensity in the anti-aliasing. You know, it's like
Oh
lines.
no! What you're seeing, that's bitmap levels.
Oh, okay.
So,
I always thought that was anti-aliasing, like where it blurs it.
you
Further
know what
away.
bitmaps are? Right. So bitmapping is essentially it's a way to sort of reduce aliasing, texture aliasing by generating lower res textures, and then essentially you're placing them as you move away from the camera. So like if you have like a 64 by 64 texture, the next layer would be like 32 by 32, then 16
I see.
by
So they just get
16.
lower res.
Yeah, and it's just when you don't do that, you end up with shimmering.
Oh,
So
okay.
like on PS2, bitmaps are pretty uncommon.
Mhm.
So like you end up with sharper looking distant textures, but they kind of
Right.
shimmer. Shenmue doesn't use bitmaps either.
Okay.
So this one does. And yeah, so the difference here is that Dreamcast is using bilinear, and I think GameCube has trilinear. Which essentially GameCube's able to filter smoother between the edges, where Dreamcast it's like hard borders between each layer. So that's why it looks so, not great.
and it's like a yard
Now,
in front
try. This
side.
is a special moment here.
Yeah.
That everybody remembers from the Dreamcast launch.
Yeah, I mean, the first time you
The
saw this,
whale.
it was like, the next generation is here.
The moving bridge and like the waves.
You can really see
What?
like the difference in frame rate
Yeah.
though between the two there.
But the frame rate's not completely steady here, so see how it dipped there.
Yeah.
That was
What was the reception of this game in general when it came out?
Positive.
Because 3D Sonic has such a reputation now, but I almost feel like
it was
there
positive
was-
at the time.
Yeah, definitely.
they what?
And I mean, deservedly so. I mean, this
Yeah.
is like at the time, like maybe it hasn't.
Aged well, but
Yeah,
at the
but
time it was pretty special.
Yeah. And not just because of the soundtrack, just because it was. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we'd gone a generation without like a real Sonic game.
Yeah.
As well, like
exactly.
finally having a new Sonic game was such a big deal after nothing on the Saturn.
Yep.
What do you feel this game did right that modern Sonic tends to get wrong?
Well, I'm not a big fan of like the 3D stuff in modern Sonics. I just don't like the hit in the shoulders to like.
No, I
think
think it's
this is
okay.
more-
I like that actually because it's about like being quick with reacting to everything and just what the look at that weird
Oh, you went through the ground.
yeah.
Yep.
I kind of glitched out on that.
Yeah, but I mean that happens in this version a lot. Too.
No, that's common. This game has a serious problem with that.
And it's always no. Isn't that what he says when it happens?
Yep,
He's like
yep.
no.
No.
Jump on panel number 1. It will take you to panel
You can hear
2 and
the Dreamcast
So,
loading over there.
I think the controls and level design are a lot worse in this actually than the modern games. Sonic is very twitchy in this. The levels are short and kind of weird. But at the time, it was that's awful. It was really neat at the time. I did enjoy it. These panels
I mean,
are weird.
I almost feel like at the time people, just accepted like, okay,
Let's
this
go.
is what Sonic is in 3D, and then when some of the other games started coming out, people were kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I like this.
But I think Sonic in 3D.
I didn't really know
isn't
anybody
as-
that didn't like it.
It's not. Sonic in
That's just
3D gets a little bit of a bad rep, I think, because they're not. Most of them are all right. Like, okay, this was okay at the time. 2 was fun, but they all have issues, right?
Right.
I think Sonic
Right.
Heroes was all right, not amazing. Shadow was bad. Sonic 06 was really bad. The 7 Rings was okay. So it's a lot of mediocre stuff. But then I think Sonic Unleashed was pretty good. Generations was pretty good.
When you say Sonic Unleashed, do you feel like the day and night stuff was good?
I mean, I prefer the day, but I think
Yeah.
the night's better than people gave it credit for.
The Unleashed level in Generations was like
at the
probably
lighting
the
difference
highlight
here.
level of the game
yeah.
for
See,
me,
there's, like, almost
which
no
kind of made
shading
me
on
want to
GameCube.
play
Yeah.
Unleashed.
Like, it's huge difference between them.
Yeah.
Why not just use my plane?
I mean, I think Tails looks a lot better in the GameCube version.
In what way?
I don't know.
I can kind of
Like,
see
maybe-
that, actually, because he's a bit brighter. But he only looks brighter because there's no lighting applied to him.
I mean, it's
Sticking out.
kind of weird, but in some ways, I kind of like the no lighting. Like, it makes the characters look.
See, that's the
I don't
thing
know.
about this is that it can work occasionally, but because there's no lighting, a lot of areas end up looking weird and unfinished. It's just inconsistent.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it does look good, but it does look unfinished no matter what. You know, like it's like just
Yeah.
like that.
So let's go back out into Station Square here. Once you get control.
You gotta go to the Mystic Ruins next, right?
Let's check out some Station Square, because there's some interesting things to look at. When you first step out here, just wait, and you can see the texture on the Dreamcast should be a lot better. No other way.
Yeah, someone in the chat is saying it looks more cartoonish without lighting,
I
which is
agree.
maybe what
Okay.
I'm kind of
Look
thinking.
at the
Like, it
difference
just,
here.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean that just looks like smeared all over the place, like generic and that.
And also, yeah.
Yeah, it looks so much better on the Dreamcast. Like, and there's like a weird like meshing of like textures, 2 textures coming together at like different angles.
Exactly. Now go to the first person view and let's look out over this here.
This station must be the center.
So they do have the fake shadows on the GameCube still here. But
But no shadows here.
it looks really flat, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, the overall world just pops and looks so much more lively.
So let's
On
look
Dreamcast.
around over here. Come to these buildings.
I like the palm trees on GameCube though.
Yeah, look at these shop windows here. On there.
Yeah, you can see inside of them.
You can actually see inside a little bit.
It's kind of cool. Gives it like a bit more life.
No, it's not.
I mean, another reason I think this game is like is at the time was something special is because it felt like a real jump over the PS1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Look at the
this was
texturing on
the
sidewalk.
first time that a lot of people had probably
On here,
seen
just go over there to the sidewalk.
480i
Oh,
game
oh,
graphics.
Yeah.
I mean, there were
Look at
a
that.
lot of fighting games and
If you
stuff,
look straight
but
down. Again, look at the difference in texture here. The GameCube,
oh yeah,
The GameCube one is awful there.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, but it makes you like. Is it just because of the lighting, or is it just why do you think they changed a lot of this stuff?
I don't know why they changed so many
It
textures.
just seems like a
What
whole
about
bunch of
this?
work for nothing.
Look at this. Look at these here. This has to do with the transparency of the textures. They had to make changes to the way that this worked.
Do you
but-
think that they took some shortcuts and in the end ended up taking them longer, probably?
Yeah. I believe there's actually a prototype of the GameCube version.
Mhm.
Okay, Kev Blackwood. Okay, you want me to stop talking over the top? I'm sorry.
He's
the
educating us.
the
I
the
I'll let you
crosswalk.
guys ask the questions then.
The crosswalk texture on GameCube kind of looks like it's just like a texture sitting on top of a texture. On Dreamcast, it looks like it's more seamless with the road.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
you can
weird they
see it a
would
little bit,
just
but
throw that stuff out.
it's also kind of funny because the crosswalk, it looks like there's just a large road area, and they just like set the sidewalks on top of it because like the way that the the sidewalk goes over the crosswalk looks a little awkward.
Yeah.
How do we get to the Mystic Ruins?
Oh, I know. It's through the train station. Which is right here. So go back.
Here.
Mm-hmm.
The train headed for the Mystic
Look at the difference in texture.
It's huge. Wow.
And also look at the walls.
Wow.
They use the same texture across all the different walls and pillars on GameCube.
And then here it's like there's different pillar, and it's weird they would just throw it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the textures on the Dreamcast version are anything like imaginative or unusual,
No.
but next to the GameCube one, it's like
What are the character models?
it's like 50 times more generic.
Yeah. That looks a lot better on the GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
She does.
I agree.
I mean, you know, I gotta be honest. I don't know. I kind of like the no lighting on the character models because it draws less attention to flaws in the geometry.
Yeah.
Or the simplicity of the geometry.
I can get behind that.
Adam Winther says, I remember playing this game when I first got my Dreamcast and almost cried. Then I did cry. Well, yeah. I mean, it was a special moment. I mean, $99.99 was like such a...
It's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was... look at the difference. That looks like such a generic texture, but this looks like it's been properly aged.
Let's look out over the Mystic Ruins here. Kind of.
GameCube kind of comes out on top in terms of like the rock textures for sure.
Let's look over here. How's this look?
I don't know where you're at.
Are you in different places, or did they make it much
here.
more grassy on GameCube?
We're in different places.
Okay, I'm coming. I see.
Okay, now you're getting you're getting in sync here.
Where's that dude?
Okay.
He's to your. There he is.
Here he is.
There he is. And if you look at like.
Oh, he's wearing different colored clothes.
Yeah, the rocks look a lot better on the GameCube. Like a lot better.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a pretty generic brown
Yeah,
smudge
mossy.
on Dreamcast.
Dambot 5000. Yes, we've talked about the music, and especially the music in this area is really good too. Kind of takes a while to kick in.
That's right.
Like some ambience
So,
first.
Bartman, I think this was actually your idea, wasn't it?
What?
Because we were gonna play Contra 3,
Right.
and then I said Sonic, and then you were like, "Let's do Sonic Adventure."
Yeah. Why some is
So he gets the credit for this.
because you were here a few days ago and you just like started telling us about the differences in the Sonic Adventure, and I didn't even think of it until like 8:30. It's like, we should do that.
Oh wow, I'm looking at the frame rate on the GameCube version, and it was falling apart there for a moment.
It gets unstable. Okay, this is one area where GameCube wins big time. This water here,
Oh yeah.
it's awful on Dreamcast.
Oh,
Look at that.
It's almost like doesn't even look like it's even water. Just a
But
texture.
to be fair, the PC version has the worst water here. It's so ugly.
Which is
the waterfall might be worse than the water itself. I mean, it kind of just looks like a flickering something.
Yeah. I mean, it's just looks like someone's peeing off it.
I don't know if it looks that realistic.
I don't know how to get to the level from here. Oh, I just pushed this thing in.
We used to go up and fight Eggman.
How is everyone's feelings here regarding the Robotnik Eggman?
He'll always
switch?
be Robotnik to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, even as not really a Sonic fan, like I've always felt strongly that Robotnik is a much better name. But I sometimes, I had a hard time coming to terms with Toadstool changing to Peach.
Yeah.
I think I saw somebody. I think I saw Nathan Ruse in the chat, which is somebody I know.
Oh yeah.
So he's here. He's here in this area.
Nice.
So he used to work up at one of the game stores nearby, where my younger sister worked actually.
Really?
So we hung out some. That was cool. He knows his stuff.
Where'd you just go?
You want to go towards the bridge, and there's a big set of stairs to the left. It's true, yeah. Eggman was always a Japan thing.
But I think Robotnik is. I mean, that's what he always was to me. So.
I liked how in Generations though they
Had
have
different
the
names.
two.
Yeah.
How did they
only
handle
played
that in the
Generations
Japanese
once, but I didn't
version?
like it.
Did they call him Robotnik in the Japanese version?
No, he was always Eggman.
Up to no good.
Oh, in Generations,
But what
I
I
don't
mean
know.
is in Generations.
I actually
did they
haven't
call
played that.
what they do with the old school Robotnik in Generation?
I don't know.
For Japan.
Might be interesting if you ever come across a copy of that
Yeah.
for cheap.
I have my Sonic coin as well.
The 25th or the
Yeah,
10th
right.
anniversary.
Yeah.
I had two of those things. I got it from EB, but I sold them. They had the soundtrack and the
Yep.
and the coin. You know what's so dumb is that I
You
think
big
about how that
loser.
was what.
I just saw in the chat.
It's just so weird to think, that Sonic is as old as he is now. I just remember thinking that it's been so long since Sonic Adventure 2 came out.
Yeah.
Because it was like, wow, there's... I mean, it was... it's big... Like, it just seems like there's a lot of Sonic games, but there's been, like, so many more Sonic games
Since
that amount of
then.
time.
Yeah, you're right.
I feel like GameCube is still winning in this area, but it's a clear loser in a lot of other areas, but it seems like the textures in this area on GameCube are decently designed.
Yeah, they're not that bad. So,
Although I can see some repetition.
I actually think the GameCube version kind of looks okay at times. Pretty good actually in some places. The later ports that were based on GameCube, the PC, actually got a lot worse.
Really? And what about do you include the HD version with that? I mean, are there any improvements, or did they make certain things? Did they make certain things worse?
The HD versions are based on this version, and they're slightly better than the PC version. I still need to get back into those versions specifically to compare.
Mm-hmm.
The PC port, I played it back in the day and a little bit recently. I still have to do more on that one to really get to the details, but it's missing a lot more than the GameCube version, and it has a lot of visual issues. It's pretty bad, but there are some good mods for it. Well, for the updated PC version, I believe, to restore some of the color features, but it's still not perfect.
And Sonic Mania, I saw some people talking about Sonic. That was like one of your favorite games of the
Oh,
year.
that was my favorite from last year. I really like Sonic Mania.
Still haven't played it. But I should buy it. I mean, so do you know if I know that the Switch version had some issues, like there was some like frame rate issues, but that's been patched. I understand.
The frame rate is just occasionally dips in the bonus stage.
So
and just a little
PS4, I
bit.
mean, is probably
PS4 is the best version.
And you said it scales perfectly to 4K, right?
Yep, it's perfect pixel to pixel.
Well,
That's
that
cool.
wasn't so hard.
What is the next DF Retro? Can you share that information? It's always fun to like not tell people.
Yeah, I
And
haven't.
have them be surprised.
I haven't actually decided yet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna next year.
You got to
I'm
get
gonna
back in the swing of things for.
I gotta get
for
back
one.
in the swing of things, and I'm gonna try to do a mix of shorter episodes and longer episodes.
Yeah.
Because doing all these long episodes is like it's too much. Because I have to do all my other work as well.
And then with the long episodes, from now on, you're gonna wish you wish you had some developer interviews
Yeah,
to pull from.
exactly. I have some that I'm working on for next year, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it here.
So it's kind of the same kind of headspace that we're in, like some shorter episodes in addition to not be afraid of doing shorter ones. Because, I mean, you probably feel the same way that we do, is that it's so easy to fall into, like, it's got to be, people expect these long episodes
Exactly.
every time, and you don't want to let them down. But then you realize if you did a shorter episode, people are just going to be just as happy.
Exactly. So, it's just kind of mix it up, do both.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try anyway.
We can't let him get away with it.
Man, there are a lot of places where, I mean, I'm assuming it's not just the stream. Like, there are a lot of places where I see the GameCube frame rate really falling apart.
Yeah, it does do that a lot. The way it refreshes with the screen, when it slows down and you want to go back up to Tails Lab, it kind of hitches and stutters. It's great. It's not great.
But this is like a constant 30 frames.
that.
And
Mostly, yeah. Stone. You go
Dig
back
it.
down, back to near where that water pool was. Over here on the side. So,
with the waterfall.
I'm down. You want to go back towards? See, I'm going on this path here, towards the waterfall. There's the waterfall. It's to the right of the waterfall.
Those guys.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, I see.
And then set the stone on that little platform. Thank you, RJ Mario. Okay, so to get to the next level, we just jump in there.
The Windy Valley.
Let's don't start right. Let's see how this texture compares.
See them side by side like this, you're kind of like, oh, well, maybe. It makes you consider certain things that maybe you hadn't.
Actually, it's not too bad there on the GameCube.
No.
Yeah, this is actually probably the most similar the two
Yeah.
versions have been up to now.
Yeah.
Although, what's up with the missing water on the GameCube?
Oh,
Or is that water?
it's like
Or is
the-
that just...
it's the
Is that
sky.
just...
Yeah.
Oh, so does it pop in if you get closer?
I can hear the wind in the distance.
No, I don't know why it's not visible from.
Like a slightly different geometry, you think? Made it look
Yeah.
so you couldn't see it from there.
So what is that supposed to be down there?
Clouds, or like the sky. I think
So you're like way high up or
they're
something.
like way high up. Yeah, the GameCube frame rate's really bad here, or like just unstable. Go down this way. Ooh.
Well, as similar as a lot of the textures are in this area, maybe that's why they had to redesign a lot of it, because they were like, "Whoa, this isn't working well," for some reason. Because they were probably just trying to port it over like too literally at first,
Yeah, there's a prototype.
and it just
version.
wasn't working with the GameCube architecture.
That's right. Yep, you went that way.
There's times where the Dreamcast
Oh yeah,
gets,
no,
like,
you're
the
right.
frame rate gets down to
They both
nothing.
drop.
Yeah.
There we
You know,
go.
it was so interesting.
I mean, right here you can see there's a big difference
Yeah.
in speed right here.
it was so interesting how as soon as Sega went third party, they had like a very different vision of like, okay, we're going to put these types of games on PS2 and then GameCube and
Yeah.
Xbox. Like there's a
Yep.
lot of exclusives
That's great.
for all three of those systems.
Wow, I actually missed that.
I'm just kind of taking my time. See if I don't know if I'm at you. Okay, here we go.
Get to the pad. Let me get up there. Looks very
I mean, this is
comparable.
pretty intense. Anyways, like the wind and the
Yeah.
scale of everything seems to
This
be.
was amazing at the time. Oh wait.
Is
You see like a lighting or something on the.
is everything relatively level based? Do you go back to
Looks
these
like a
levels
lighting
over
or
the course of the
something.
game, or is it pretty much you just pass through and then move on to the next thing?
Correct. You just pass through and move on to the next. You,
Which at the time, 3D platformers really didn't do that.
also keep in mind that each character has its own story mode, and they kind
Right.
of revisit similar levels with different layouts and everything.
Oh, that trademark Sega blue sky right here.
Yeah.
It's just
Some good lens flare in this game.
yeah.
Some good blue skies.
Yeah.
Blue skies I see.
That's Daytona, right?
Yeah, we gotta get a little of that in here.
Surprised that hasn't been released on vinyl.
I know, right?
It's got to be coming from somebody.
This is where the GameCube controller excels, because the little notches where the stick goes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
for this, this was. I still think the analog stick on here is difficult to use, but I'm definitely better at it than I used to be because since I didn't play a lot of N64, analog sticks took me a long time to get used to. I
Yeah.
guess. It's when you're used to being digital pad for so long, I guess it was hard to resist pushing it all the way.
Exactly.
Well, see, and that's where Mario 64 was such a good
It taught
learning
you some
tool,
stuff,
really,
yeah.
because the Mario's degrees of movement are so granular, and there's just so many tiny increments, and most modern games step up that movement speed much quicker.
That's true. Mario 64 had a great range on the analog stick.
Oh yeah, I mean, I really can't think of another game that quite matches it, to be honest.
I did to think about that. That's a tough one.
Sometimes
I
you
used to-
you can't even
I
tell
go-
what's going on sometimes in this.
Yeah, it's a bit insane.
But I used to like the Dreamcast analog stick quite a bit back in the day, but I'll admit it doesn't feel quite great
Yeah,
now.
I mean it's
agree.
almost as bad as the controller, the cord coming out of the bottom of it. I don't know if that's what's the worst feature of it.
I remember there was some logic to the cord coming out the bottom that people were like, "Oh, here's why." And that's
Oh, don't worry about it.
there's a
You
good
just-
reason. What was the reason? I don't remember what the reason was.
For what?
The cord coming out of the bottom of the Dreamcast.
mean,
I
that's,
felt
like,
like there was a
awesome.
reason.
Oh, I think it's just because of the way they did the VMU connections.
Yeah.
I felt like there was some touted ergonomic reason for it, but
Uh,
Oh, I didn't realize you were already done with it. You're just waiting for me. I was like, oh, you just look at the textures on his face, but then you just.
oh, cool! I elevated the stream with the singing. What else can we do?
well, I don't know.
I
We had
wanna
over
fly
300
sky
viewers, and now we've got
high.
291.
Let's go together.
those lyrics, right?
That's the best.
Where are we going next?
I think we're going to casino.
Oh, does Casino have good music? I mean, you usually can expect it to in the
the
16-bit.
the Sonic pinball table has one of my favorite tracks in this game. It's this fantastic jazzy track. Can you hear any of this over there try?
No.
I
only
wish,
listen
but
to
I
the
don't.
stream.
I only hear you guys.
All right, man. Wow. Well, the
I'll have to save it for when I play the game myself.
Do you
Because
own it?
I do intend to get it someday.
Okay.
So they changed the time of day now.
I'm playing the Dreamcast version, and John's playing the GameCube.
So here's a fun glitch on the GameCube version. If you look at the reflections on the door here, the
they're
environment
from the day.
map, they don't vary it based on time of day. If you go over that on Dreamcast, it should reflect the time of day. That's the main door to go into the hotel.
Oh.
Right there. See
Yeah.
how that changes? Where it's always bright blue, even at night.
But it looks like the windows on the side changed.
Yeah, a donation
Exactly.
from Greg Hooper. Thank you for the
Wow, that's nice.
for the donation.
Oh
Thank
wow,
you.
thank you.
Speaking of donations, thanks to everyone who's watching instead of watching AGDQ.
Oh yeah, you know I forgot that was going on until I was in a game store earlier today. It was it was funny because I actually thought I heard Dave's voice. I was like, what? I was like, wait, is he watching a Game Dave video?
It wouldn't be
And then I looked up and it was AGDQ, and I guess someone happened to sound like
Oh, yeah,
Dave
let
for
me
some
go over
reason.
here. Oh, I see Dana Adams came on as well, who's working on some games. That's cool.
Hopefully the heat isn't too loud.
Oh yeah,
Dana Adams working on
talking about the analog movement that we were discussing with Mario.
Oh, okay.
Ah,
So I think here we have to get the light speed shoes. But check this out. If you come over, go follow the road.
Oh, the roadblock stuff now.
Yeah. If you step into the center area and look up at the building here, this is really interesting. It's so different.
Oh, I'm just going by the car.
You got into the middle there, by the crosswalk. Yeah, right there. Check it out. It's like, oh, we got this awesome clock tower on the Dreamcast, which... So, there's a level later in the game that ends with you ending up at the clock tower, and then you land back here. But when you take out the clock tower, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's a strange change. I'm not sure why they did that.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's like a much more modern looking building on GameCube. I wonder. I don't know. That's very
Why
weird.
change it? I mean, like, why even go through the effort to, like, change it?
How's the glass look on the Dreamcast here to the sides? Yeah, see, it's more
Yeah.
orangey to reflect that it's like
Yeah, and that just looks like it's... They just
full
let-
bright. It's the same like environment map, I think. So anyway, I think what we do here is go like a sewer, open sewer back here. To the left, just drop down. Oh yeah, I see Battletoads Arcade mentioned.
Mmm.
I think that's what someone on AGDQ is playing right now.
Ah. The light speed
Oh, there they
shoes.
are. Are those the ones that, like, if there's rings, it'll, like, take you...
Now you've got light speed shoes.
So did you get all emblems in this?
Action button just over
Back in the
power.
day,
Once you have enough
not in
power,
Sonic Adventure
this
1, but I
button
did in
will
2.
use light speed dash.
Really?
and which unlocks a 3D version of Green Hill Zone.
Yep.
But man, it was a pain. I spent a while doing that. It was cool.
It was
I
it's
liked
probably
that
worth
game.
it though. It had like the cool remix of the music.
It was cool.
The general environment
It-
looks moodier here on the GameCube, but
Ready, go. Is that what it is?
What's that try?
I say it's sort of moodier lighting on the GameCube.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta hit that again. Is it? Do I just start
Charge it up.
my spin dash?
Wait. This is dumb. I know.
Is it
Now
ready?
let go.
Right.
Ah, see.
I remember, but he says like, ready.
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Rare foils, correct. The light speed, when you go through that tunnel there, it's just immediately there on GameCube, so you just run into it by default, whereas on the Dreamcast, you need to go around the corner to get the shoes.
I gotta hit forward.
Look at the difference in lighting in that room. It's interesting.
Oh, so this game has like that follow the rings thing like Sonic 06 has.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this pioneered a lot of stuff in there. I never played Sonic 06.
Do not evoke Sonic 06.
I know far
Now it's
more than
nighttime.
I'd care to know about Sonic 06.
So the one thing, again, this showcases an issue with the lighting. So notice how on GameCube it just kind of looks, doesn't really look like night. Like on Dreamcast it kind of has like a blue hue to everything because they were able to
Right.
If you look at the
change the
building, like the
color
lights are
palettes.
actually like it looks like there's people home at these
Right.
in these apartments.
Whereas on GameCube everything's just dark
Yeah.
and dreary.
I mean, it's hard to tell if it could also just be a difference in how they're being captured.
No, it's not. It's the actual lighting system on GameCube.
Well, right, but what I mean is why because the GameCube version is extra dark, it seems.
And yeah, she's right. Sonic 06 was basically Sonic Adventure 3. That was the whole idea. And it kind of feels like it. It's just... I think it could have been alright, but it's just... It really was incomplete and released too
I
soon.
don't know if this is
Oh,
true, but I heard that
Ecstaticus?
Sonic 06 was
Wait.
like... They, like, supposedly lost, like, all of their development progress on it. Like, at a certain point in development, they had to build, like, the rest of the game and, like most of the game, rebuild it in, like, a year. I don't know if that is true at all.
For what now?
I heard that... I mean, this is just something I heard. I have no idea if this is based in fact. That they, like, I don't know, had some catastrophic loss of data during the making of Sonic 06 and supposedly rebuilt the game in, like, less than a year.
I don't know about that, actually. That's something to look up.
In the
I mean,
chat,
yeah, I have no idea if that's true, but I heard that.
in the chat, as Ecstaticus said, check out the Dreamcastify WordPress for a huge list of comparisons between different Sonic Adventure versions. And
Okay.
everything that the DX port.
Dreamcastify.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll reach out to that person and maybe they want to contribute or something.
Yeah.
Say something. That'd be cool. Because I'll have to look at the site if maybe they broke it down. I'm just going off what I've seen here.
Am I going in the right? No, I gotta go back.
That'd be cool. So we need to go to the casino. So you want to go? No, you're in the wrong spot. Go back. You kind of want to go through the hotel without the other exit.
Oh, okay.
Asked John about the readout incident. That was really annoying because I'm here and since I'm on vacation in the States, and I mean, it's just, it is what happened, you know. It's a shame
Oh, this one?
that it happened, but you know, what can you do? I don't want to throw anybody under the bus though, so I probably don't want to say anything. But it sucks being here because I'm powerless, completely powerless in it. I have no relation to it, but it hurts the reputation of us as well.
How'd you get? Oh, there's a button.
So you get the light speed up,
Yeah.
hit that button. And then it opens.
Casinopolis.
So Ecstaticus is saying they're involved with the conversion mod. All right then, I will absolutely.
Restoring original lighting and textures and models.
I don't have a full schedule on when I'm gonna do Sonic Adventure yet, so maybe I'll talk to those guys and see if we can get something going on that. I'd love to talk to them about their work on restoring the PC version as well. That'd be cool.
Oh wow! So here's where you really can see a huge benefit of the lighting model on Dreamcast.
Yeah, look
Yeah.
at
It's like kind of moving across the whole thing. You know, he's kind of
Yeah. Lots of light sources.
yeah.
It looks pretty flat on the GameCube here.
Yeah, well, and what little movement there is like pretty faked.
So this is an interesting stage because it's
Where's am I?
you essentially play pinball
It's not down there, is
to
it?
earn rings, and you have to get enough rings to fill a pit so that you can actually jump out to the end. So this pinball table has just incredible music, I think.
Where is the entrance to it?
Right there. And there's also a Knights pinball table. And if you don't score well enough, you fall down to another level where you basically do some platforming. All like that. But the physics of the pinball are like just awful.
Oh, and he used the triggers to
Yep,
use
yep.
for the flippers. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, the physics of the pinball, oof,
Yeah, it's a little.
really bad. Let me get through these tubes.
T kickback.
Kickback.
Try. What is I can't look right now. What is Ben Ashby in the chat saying?
I appreciate your 2017 games video. As a father of twins myself, I sympathize with trying to balance family and playing all the amazing games I want to play.
Yep. It's tough. But I did better last year or 2017 than I did. I can't seem to get this. It's just like always in the same spot. So
I think Sonic Spinball has better physics than this even.
yeah, that game runs at 30 frames. right?
Yeah, it might even be lower. It's not smooth at all.
Right, I got to play more games in 2017 than I have in a long time.
Same, actually.
It's just like, you know, as they get a little bit older, then you can find more time.
The kids.
Yeah, and now
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're able to kind of do their own
Participate.
thing.
Oh, yeah, well-
participate too.
You're right. Exactly. I found that too with my son. It's just like, he likes to entertain himself now.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, I just want to play my own thing. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's usually like, Dad, what can I have to eat?
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I want a snack. Yeah. It's like always the worst when you're doing something and you like want to get it when you want to finish something, you don't want to lose your train of thought, and you're like, hang on.
Yeah, so he's right, obviously. If you fail the pinball stage, you come down here, and you can get a ton of rings down here. But you just have to not get hit.
Well, running through that
Oh, sorry.
looks kind of awesome.
Oh, it does?
Like that
I'll
you
go
just
ahead
like
and
ran down, I guess, like the pinball shaft or whatever. It looked pretty awesome on
Oh, I
GameCube.
will
I didn't see it on Dreamcast.
Which one?
I saw it on I mean, it's probably on Dreamcast too, but I don't know. It just looked cool, like running through like the lighted shaft.
Yep, exactly. I got more than 100 rings, so I didn't fall down there. So the other pinball table is the Knights pinball table. Which I think is this one.
Oh, I see. So you got to get 100 rings.
Look at that.
That's awesome. I mean, Knights wouldn't be seen until the Wii.
Yes, I'm not a big fan of the Wii.
They gotta, yeah.
So I understand they were working on a sequel. I've heard at least that a sequel to Knights was kind of being worked on for Dreamcast, alongside that weird like Wiimote style controller, the same one that was being developed for Gun Valkyrie.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Which I mean, that's interesting because I mean, the 3D controller for Knights was obviously like the basis for the Dreamcast controller.
Yep.
So wait, I mean, you know, I don't know a ton about Knights. I thought that the Wii Knights was a all new. I thought it was a sequel.
It is.
Oh, okay.
So here we go.
Oh, I gotta. Oh, interesting. You can't even see it. It's very hard to tell what you need to do right there because of the lighting. You know, it's that. Like, I mean, hang on,
Oh
let me check
yeah.
that. I couldn't even.
Oh,
tell,
the ladder?
like that. You can't even tell it's a ladder.
It's bad. I agree.
You end up in the bathroom, right?
Yep. Every time. I love it.
It was such a big deal to me when I saw that games were capable of starting to like actually have you make like contact with individual rungs on a ladder. Which I think, if I'm remembering right, I want to say Ocarina of Time got kind of close, but like his animation looks right, but it can get a little bit out of sync with the pacing of the rungs, or the spacing of the rungs, I should say, if I remember right.
Ocarina, I think.
Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. Whoops. Oh, well.
I think when he climbs ladders in this, he like makes a nice like, like a repeated sound effect like that. Oh yeah, there's like no lighting in the bathroom here on GameCube. Look at that. It's just like.
I wonder what was the first game to have a like quick slide down the ladder function.
Oh,
It's so standard now.
gosh, look at this on GameCube. This is terrible. It's just like everything's full bright.
It's very flat.
Oh, at least it dumped me out in the actual lobby. Is this the knights? Is that knights right here? It's like it's purple. I feel like it's gonna be knights. Jeez, you're getting.
Coury's voice is significantly louder.
Mine is? I don't know if that's possible.
He's just got that powerful, sexy voice.
I mean, you sound pretty equal on Skype.
Oh yeah, I can't get out yet anymore. That's right. Let's do some more.
Oh, Trice, yours is. Maybe it is. I mean, I can turn
Oh,
it down.
my voice is loud.
I can turn it down a little bit. There we go, just a little bit. Whoops.
Yeah, I'm not playing. It's Coury and John, or Coury is playing Dreamcast and John is playing
I know
GameCube.
we got the final Eggman. So, how many games did you buy while you were here?
Including the limited run stuff or not?
Not including limited run.
Probably about 25 or 30.
You already have it all
Oh.
packed, like.
Not packed yet, but should be all right.
Are they all in your possession?
Yeah. They're all traveling with me.
Do you bring an extra bag just
I
for
brought
like?
a very, very large suitcase that I only quarter filled on the way here. And I have that modded N64.
Oh right, it has the RGB and
Yeah.
and
Oh.
HDMI. That's cool.
So I got that there to bring back. I was playing with that the other day. And man, the D-Blur stuff looks awesome.
Oh, it's insane.
I gotta get mine. I mean,
So,
it's
so
already,
it's RGB and HDMI?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's insane. It's
The guy who
still
did it
like
is,
my
like,
favorite
here, right?
mod.
What's that?
the guy who did it is
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
But you said he doesn't really do console mods that often.
No, just his own.
What game would you say you're the most excited to be bringing back? Stunt Race FX, right?
That's a hard question. I'm really excited to play the PlayStation 1 version of PO'd.
Oh.
Like, no joke. No, actually, you know what? I got Descent Maximum, which is like the PlayStation 1 port of Descent 2 that I've been dying to check out.
Hmm.
Like that's the weird stuff that I'm bringing back. I got a shrink-wrapped version of Pitfall: The Mind Adventure for the Jag with me, and a nice box copy of the Sega CD version of Pitfall.
Speaking of the Jag, I got a unopened new in-box controller yesterday.
Oh. How much was
Specify that it must have been a 3-button, not the $250 6-button.
Oh, I didn't realize I didn't even know that there was a 6-button for it.
So the Pro controller for the Jag, woof. These things go for hundreds right now. But somebody made like a mold. They're gonna try to reproduce them, which is cool because they're nice.
What would you say is the most normal thing that most like not kind of weird obscure game you're bringing back? Like just some kind of normal, common. Stunt Race FX, you know.
The normal stuff would be I finally grabbed the different versions of Tomb Raider games that I didn't have of. Like,
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a PlayStation, so most of my Tomb Raider games back in the day were on the PC. So I grabbed the PlayStation version of 2, 3, and 4, and like the Dreamcast version of 4.
I do not
actually-
have a Jaguar. I want one, but I do not have one. I just bought it because I couldn't say no to a brand new controller, and it can always come in handy. I guess I've already put it out on Twitter, so I guess I could let people in the chat know. I was digitizing a bunch of tapes for a friend, and it was all like off the air stuff, like on MTV. But he did it in like the SP, which is like the really high quality record mode. You can get about 2 hours on a tape, and oh, look at that!
Oh yeah, the Knights. That's cool, isn't it?
That's really awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that this was. You just fly around. Is it just?
Yep.
It's just
Scripted.
But all the stuff like had like a lot of commercials in it, and in the era which it was from, which is like 1994, is like from the tape ranged from I want to say like August to December of 1994, and there's like one game commercial per commercial break. So I went through all these tapes and I found about 22 commercials that are like most of them are online, but they're really really crummy versions of them. Can I just leave now, or do I
go to the? You have to deposit your rings, and that's not enough. So go.
I should have come up playing.
Right there, down that hallway, to the left, to the left, to the left. That down there. So you need like 300 something. So you step on that switch, and then this happens.
Oh, I see.
And then
And one of those commercials was a Jaguar commercial, but there was like a bunch of CDI commercials, some like a 32X launch commercial, Mortal Kombat 2, of course, Booger Man, like a lot of stuff that there is versions of online, but they're like, I mean, I'm most excited about the commercial for Shaq Fu. There's like one really bad version of it online. But now we can do 1080p 60 versions of them. And I'm going to, like I said, I have enough here. I'm going to do like an episode on it. Like, I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah. But, I mean, I want to be able to show the Jaguar. But I don't have one. So I, like, you know, having a controller at least gives me something to show. But John's going to get some footage of some Jag stuff.
yes, because I've said it before, but I have a big Jaguar episode planned for early this year. I'm going to be doing a lot of Jag games.
I've heard a lot about the Jag in the past few weeks.
Yeah, like Trevor McFur.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the Jag. There's some good games in there, but Trevor McFur is... I don't even want to get started on how bad I hate that game so much.
What? Are you talking? Oh,
Trevor McFur.
I thought you were talking about Soldier of Fortune on the Dreamcast.
Oh, Soldier of Fortune. Now
your
that
favorite?
I hate. That is I like the PC game, but that Dreamcast port is beyond bad. It's so bad.
What's that? Is it better? Is it worse than the? What is the video that you showed us the other day of like that PC game? Like the frame rate was really bad.
Don't remember. Lichtenstein Battle Mage?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah.
Battle Mage. That's right. So the problem with Soldier of Fortune on Dreamcast is that, let's say you have the first map, it's a train station, it's a subway. There's a cutscene, then you play through the whole subway. On Dreamcast, they divided it up into like 4 or 5 maps. Each map takes about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to load. Think about that. So 2 minutes 30 seconds, then like a 60-second cutscene, then another 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then the game starts. And the frame rate is horrible. It looks ugly. You're playing through the level, and then just at some random point halfway through the level, another 2 minute 30-second load screen. It's just unbelievable.
Joaquin, there shouldn't be any limit. I mean, I didn't put anything on the Streamlabs, but I haven't like looked at it too closely. I mean, I'm sorry it's turning out to be a pain in the butt.
Sometimes I think it can screw up a little bit.
What are you trying to do?
He tried to donate some money, but he says that the Streamlabs doesn't. I'm going to donate so much, so we went for $250, and now it says it won't go through. Was there minimum
Weird.
donations? I mean, I'll check it after the stream. I apologize.
So, Corey, a quick way is you just want to fall down there and do the little platforming section again, and just try not to get hit, and you get a ton of rings.
Got it. Okay.
So speaking of Tomb Raider, you were mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
I was when I was at a store today. I was kind of looking at the PS1 Tomb Raider games. What I'm trying to remember is there a long box version of Tomb Raider 1?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good, because they only had greatest hits, and you know I can't do greatest hits on PS1, and I was concerned. I was like, ooh, I hope that there is a black label, not long box, because I am trying to avoid long box PS1 games because I hate long boxes.
You're missing out though, man. Long boxes are pretty dope.
I only have one, because I don't think that they have a non-long box version of Return Fire.
They don't.
But I mean, I guess I could get the 3DO version. That'd also be a long box.
I mean, I accept it for Saturn because that's just what Saturn is, but like I don't have any long box PS1 games, and I don't want to start. They're just such a pain to manage on the shelf.
Well, I hope you never want to get Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 then.
You can be quite comfortable in that not being an urge I have.
Can I use the light thing to go in between them all, you think?
Oh yeah, Jeff O, he's with me.
Thread the needle. Look at that.
His long boxes are straight 95. I love collecting them too. Those are great. I'm bringing back like 4 long boxes.
Ooh.
I can't remember what they all were though. I know PO'd is one of them. I picked up the 2 Crystal Dynamics games. I think it was Off-World Interceptor Extreme, and then also that one, and then a couple others I'm forgetting.
It's like,
How long were long boxes?
I haven't played the pinball like.
I think for PS1.
No. You fell into the trap. That's why. You lost all those rings.
I can do it again, right?
Yeah.
I might not need.
Yeah, I think I should probably stop playing until you catch up.
Yeah.
So I better pause it because otherwise
I
it's
just
gonna.
got hit again.
I'm gonna run out of time.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's fine. Actually, I'm gonna go back to the overworld.
I just noticed that his spin texture is kind of blurred in an interesting way.
I'm gonna run out of time too. Is it like 20 minutes?
No, I think you're good on this. Let's check. What's the Twitter sphere saying?
Well, what is with the camera?
The camera
horizontal
is
on the
really bad.
camera.
I think the camera is like way worse than 2. The camera
Well,
killed.
but I'm talking on John's on the GameCube. Like it's like doing this weird horizontal shimmy. Is
Where
it caught on something?
I'm just standing still. Oh, I guess it's delayed the stream.
Oh, okay, now I think it's fixed. Oh, there's kind of some nice ice reflections in there.
That looks better on Dreamcast when we get there.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I remember like ice reflections were like the coolest thing ever at one point to me. I remember playing a free weekend of Guild Wars 1, and there was some ice area available in that, and it just amazed me. Just I love just that warping, shiny sort of texture.
Somebody asked me what my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch are, and I thought I've made that pretty clear over time. I love the Switch. It's a neat little machine.
You said that your nephew played it for the first time.
Yes, he did. I shared it with my little nephew today. He loved it too. So yeah, it's not as powerful as the other ones, and that's fine. It's a cool. The handheld aspect is very appealing. I think it's pretty powerful hardware for what it is. And I love that the games ship on carts like that. Those little cards.
Oh yeah.
And I love the game boxes. Those tiny little like the thin red cases. Those are excellent.
Yeah, I mean, the cartridge aspect almost makes me more interested in. I mean, that could easily sway me in some cases, like Switch version or PS4 version. I don't know. I mean,
come on,
if the Switch version is well optimized.
I tried to go, I was like this. Come on.
They should have used the power of the Dreamcast to make Sonic actually drop all of his rings so you could pick them back up.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's like, I feel like I should just die. Instead if I can do this part
it's
over
actually
again.
a shortcut.
There we go. That's better.
Switch cards taste delicious.
Have you actually tried it?
No.
I've never tried it either.
I don't want to know what that's like.
I think when I was still there, I think we were talking about like how I'm curious about what the difference is between Switch carts that rattle and Switch carts that don't.
I don't know, but I did want to point out real quick that Yush Geyer donated $10, and it didn't show up on the stream. So whatever, but that's cool.
Thank you. I did not.
I wonder if it has anything to do with since I switched the. It shouldn't have anything to do with the this change that I made to my hard drives. It shouldn't. I'm sorry about that. That's. You know what though? You know why it didn't show up? I know exactly why it didn't show up. It's because we're in this dual stream screen, and it's not. I haven't used it since we started doing that. So it's not.
Oh, so it's not implemented on this layout.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Man, I'm sorry about that. Ugh. Sorry.
Maybe I wonder if it would fit well if I how I want to make a stream layout with like different screens on it. I wonder if I could have like a Game Boy or something sitting there, and I wonder if it would fit well within that.
That might work.
Probably not though, because isn't it kind of like short and wide?
You can change it however you want.
Oh, so can it be like a square?
Yeah.
Well, that might work then.
Hey, I know the friendly broski. I can't believe that dude's up because he's in the UK.
Oh, well,
He
you know,
was a pretty early
we
fan.
do get European
Yeah.
viewers on these streams.
What's that?
It's rare.
Deposit the money here.
So for those just catching up, I'm waiting for Coury to deposit his rings so we can sync up the games again.
I know where I'm supposed to take it. There it is. I mean, it's cool that it's actually kind of, for casino stuff being such a big part of Sonic, it's actually,
need a lot
like, it's
more.
neat. I need more?
You need to get like 350 or something.
How did I not have it? Oh, come on.
You have to do it all at once?
No. Let me just do this again.
Yeah, he's right. It's 400.
All right.
Oh wow, 2:30 p.m. in Australia. As
Perfect stream time. Yeah, but it's
you know,
Monday.
time zones are still so weird. I mean, it's like, yes, I get it, it makes sense, but it's still just like so bizarre to like actually be talking to someone who is like, oh, it's
Say
like
stop.
daytime
Oh, yeah, you're doing
outside.
That's right. Let's all cheer for Coury. He's got this. Come on. All right, Try. You ready? We're gonna do.
Ready.
We're gonna do a duet of Blue Skies.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
It almost happened here tonight, but unfortunately.
Is it so? It's not Daytona that has game over. Yeah, is that a?
Sega
It's a
Rally.
reality. Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's what?
Daytona's like GAMEUVER.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Uh oh, did I just get locked?
Wait,
in
which
there?
one's Game Over Yeah then?
It's Sega Rally,
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
which is
Oh, I
is
thought it was
Is
Daytona.
that Tetsuya
Well,
Mizuchi's first game?
I don't know if I want Daytona anymore.
As far as I know, it was.
Might be. Yeah, I think it was.
It's like such
I-
so
well,
stressful.
I've got Game Over Yeah on a Saturn demo disc, so.
Oh, Blade Blur, don't stop after ending A. Wait. You at least load up the next one. Keep going a little bit. You've got to see what happens. There's some good
See,
stuff.
Coury was talking about that. I don't know much about. I just got near on Black Friday deal, so I don't know much about what's ahead. But Coury keeps saying that he feels like he would appreciate it more if he went for a second ending.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten the second ending.
I mean, the first Nier, like I did at least 2 or 3.
I have enough. I should have enough. 281. 281. So I should be okay. Very last ring counts, I suppose. Get them out of the stalls or like little mini showers, I guess. You know, gotta have those showers in the casino. I should have enough now.
Yeah, the physical release of Tokyo Jungle is interesting. I also got a physical
Oh,
release of...
is that the one that's on the collection, right?
Yeah. Also, do you remember the game Rain on PS3? I got a physical disc of that. That's a cool game.
Oh yeah, is that the? It's like sort of a. Is it black and white?
No, it's
Just a very muted scheme.
very muted color scheme.
I think I know what you're talking about. I forgot about that game. Isn't it some mechanic like your character's only visible in rain or something like that?
Exactly.
Yeah, I forgot all about that game. So wait, where's the physical version of that available? Is it in America?
It's like an Asian version.
Oh, I'm
of
really
Rain.
interested in
Of Rain,
that.
Oh, wait, he can't hear us?
You can barely hear us. I can crank up that gain a little bit. Hang on. Let's try that. Maybe that sounds better.
How's this? Can you hear us?
Hopefully that hasn't been something
Gotcha,
that's
John.
been like that the whole stream, but people seem to be able to understand well enough.
I am not from Minnesota. Minnesota?
I never.
I don't know how to do the accent.
Yeah. Me either. Sorry it took me so long.
It's all right. We were cheering for you. We almost did the Blue Skies duet, but try. It's like it's all right, man.
He's
I
never
don't
heard
know
it.
any Sonic Adventure 2 music.
No, that was
Sonic
Daytona.
Adventure 1.
I guess Eggman's
Huh?
one of them.
Daytona, man.
Oh, Daytona.
So for
Oh.
people who don't know, like you, I didn't know this until you told me that like Daytona was kind of your made you like fall in love with like technology behind games.
Yeah.
It's like the reason you're doing what you're doing.
That was the awakening moment. Seeing Daytona USA in the arcades. I didn't know what frame rate was at the time, but I saw it running so smoothly compared to anything else, and I had to know why. And I was obsessed with that. I wanted to capture that on my PC forever. And it was kind of impossible in the 90s. There
Oh
was
yeah.
Nothing could get close to that.
See, I remember.
Okay, so you can go back to
I
the
didn't-
Casino Street
I didn't understand
out there.
at the time that
Oh, you-
that
you-
2D games mostly ran at 60 frames per second.
What did?
Back in the day, I didn't know that
Up here?
2D games were running at 60
Oh,
frames
yeah.
per
No.
second.
Go back down.
And
Hold on, I gotta help
remember-
Coury out. There's an alley behind you. Go to the left. There. Like, why would you know this? I don't know. You pick it up. Go to the Misket Ruins. Go to the no, train station. Go
I gotta go to the.
left.
Oh,
Go up the
I
steps.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize there was a back entrance to it. But that's cool. So I mean, you couldn't capture that stuff at the time. Like I think we talked about how when I was in college, I did like that Metal Gear trailer. That was like 1998. So it was. I mean, it was so hard to capture game footage at the time.
Yeah, he's right. The cutscene shows you where the stone was, but I saw that like 30 minutes ago. So.
Where is it? Is that all right?
So yeah, up here, and then down. Wow, down this path, get to the end.
I gotta take it up here.
Yep. And then. Yes, it's more powerful than the 3DO. Somebody's asking.
What? The Dreamcast?
The GBA CPU. 3DO is not great.
Oh, look at that! I mean, so you look at the difference.
Look at the difference here.
Oh,
Where the ice works.
interesting. I mean, it's not exactly realistic on Dreamcast, but
It's brighter and just like looks like
it's more stylized.
Yeah. Should I?
Jump. Let's pull to the water. What do you think of that?
Well, I
That's
mean, you
actually
see, like,
pretty
some,
good on
like-
the Dreamcast.
Like morph like the
Yeah,
like I mean this like it looks that doesn't even look like there's anything in a way.
the GameCube one, it's neat what they're doing there, but I think artistically the Dreamcast looks significantly better here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the one good water texture in the game. I really like it on the Dreamcast.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
But there's like
It's the TEV effect, TV effect.
was what?
It's like which is like pseudo pixel shader kind of feature of the hardware. So, and if you look if you look actually like, so on the let's go in here real quick. Drop down underwater here and go first person. And then just look
Oh yeah, I mean look at that. I mean that looks kind of cool.
look down on Dreamcast. Yeah, see this.
It's like
So they use that effect on the GameCube to do that. which is kind of neat.
So what is it about, is it part of the hardware implementation of the feature? Because I feel like I see that a lot. I want to say Star Fox Adventures.
Yeah, it's part of the
had
hardware.
some issues with like warping around, like I don't know, like your character's outline is influenced by the warp.
Ooh. Yeah,
If
I've been mentioning the TEV.
Oh, look at that difference.
The texture environment pipeline or whatever. It's a feature of the GameCube hardware that developers could do some neat programming tricks to essentially like simulate all kinds of cool effects. It was kind of like a programmable shader, but it worked differently from what I understand. I've never actually worked on the GameCube hardware, of course. It'd be fun to program something for it though. But
so the Dreamcast immediately looks way better here.
Yeah. So this is the lighting system difference. The way the lights work on Dreamcast. Huge difference.
And two, they just decide for whatever reason they want it to be white and black instead of blue and brown.
So on Dreamcast, I think you can specify. From what I recall, you can specify like on the colors of the different vertexes with like a values from 0 to 255, of course. With 0 being the brightest and 255 being the darkest, I think, in this case. And you can, which allows you to do that on like a per vertex kind of thing to get different color effects on models and scenery. And obviously they stripped that system out in the GameCube. I need to refresh myself on some of those differences, but that's the basic gist. So, it's not like it looks realistic on either, but I really like the blue colors on the Dreamcast here.
Yeah, it fits with the theme a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of dull on the GameCube.
And there's like
go forward.
Look how there's like snow sort of at the bottom of like the wall on Dreamcast. And it's like nice and bright white, and on the GameCube, it's just like very dark.
Yeah, it just looks gray practically.
Exactly.
Even if you're frozen, jump
Whoa!
over
Oh, okay.
and you should be able to
Just showing you how to do it.
Yep. Bounce on it. So then we can hit these speed pads here. Wait, stop here real quick. Look at the hallway. Well, not hallway, but
Well, look at. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is there any mist in there? The mist seems a bit better integrated in the Dreamcast. You see it coming out of the ceiling.
Okay, let's out here. And then we just land out here. Let's look up. So yeah, one of the things that really annoys me about this GameCube version actually is how you have the dull-looking level colors and lighting and geometry there, and then you have the super bright blue sky, and it just kind of looks, the contrast between the two doesn't look quite right. Whereas on Dreamcast, it's still, it is what it is, but I think it matches up better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the GameCube floor textures really blown out like that, or is it just the way it's being captured?
No, looking at the street.
Well, it has the like the light on it.
Yeah.
It sort of changes as you turn the angle. Interesting.
Yeah, it shouldn't be blown out. It looks fine here.
But how I was saying earlier, like I wonder if it really is supposed to be that dark in the cities at night in the GameCube version. But seeing how bright white this is, then I guess it really is just dark. Kind of crazy.
Yes, this is evaluation mode. Yeah, it's true. So the Dreamcast, the texture compression used on there actually does. Dreamcast, I think, uses VQ textures.
Yeah, go to first person. There's no the textures inside here, especially.
You see raw vertex angles there. What about the texture down here on the ground? How's this? Okay, they both. not very good. Also, you can really see how there's like a texture on Sonic on Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Whether you
yeah,
like it or
yeah.
not, whatever, but it's like pretty much removed on the GameCube.
But that's kind of the, like, having no texture is kind of the look that they've gone with
Yeah.
since then.
It works. It's okay.
Like, it's
So
just
let's
made
put
out
his
of
head in
plastic
here.
or rubber.
This was a time when, you know, even in more realistic looking games,
This is
there
kinda
was
sucky.
not a lot of like skin texture.
No. So, one fun fact about the Dreamcast version, the performance when playing in story mode is pretty much locked 30 frames per second, but when you play in time trial mode, it runs much slower, which is actually consistent with the original Japanese release. So, whatever optimizations they did to it only seem to apply to just the story mode. So if
Really?
you play in time attack, it's broken, or it's choppy.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, just time attack. It always drove me crazy.
so
I
I
don't find it the same
wonder
place as-
if
Like,
the optimizations didn't have anything to do with just.
Oh, I see.
I mean, you would think they would be drawing the same like.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they
from
did
the
under
levels
the hood.
and stuff.
Look at the difference here. It's just like
The camera's freaking out.
just move down the hall, I guess. It's
Yeah,
like
but I mean, that's pretty.
the
That's
colors.
huge difference. I mean, the Dreamcast just looks a lot better.
Yeah, it's just way more vivid.
Yeah. I mean, that's one instance where the GameCube it like looks unfinished.
Oh yeah, I guess I haven't actually checked what texture format the game uses. I just assumed it was VQ compressed, but that's cool that it's not. I haven't actually looked too closely at the files on the disc yet. I'm curious to do that.
So how do you go about looking at like files on a GD-ROM? I mean, it has this.
ISOs.
Oh yeah.
It's the easiest way. Yeah, the colors are really dull on the stage on GameCube.
I mean, maybe this was the front end of the era when they decided everything had to be like, you know, gritty looking.
See,
Colors
now,
were bad.
when you're talking about Dreamcast and textures, the game that suffered the most was Skies of Arcadia Legends. The GameCube version absolutely destroys the texture work. They look awful compared to Dreamcast.
Try, aren't you glad you got the Dreamcast version now?
Oh yeah, I am, and I intend to play it someday. Though, although it's been, I mean, it's been since 2003, I think, that I played the GameCube version. So, I mean, I think that was the year it came out. I played it it was 2003. I played it in the summer of 2003.
Gosh.
So, needless to
Just an
say,
awesome game,
I'm not going to remember
Yeah.
a lot about the texture work.
I was
But,
there.
I
I was
would-
there on day one for that game.
Same here.
On Dreamcast. Loved it.
You know, that and Grandia 2 came out like back to back, like in the same month.
Yeah, I think it was like 1 month apart. Like December for Grandia, November for Skies.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like Skies of Arcadia, you
I
know,
don't know,
me,
just haven't
you know,
played
me, even having only played the GameCube version, I feel like it's my favorite Sega game.
That's another one. Like that's what is Skies of Arcadia? Yeah.
Skies of
Wait for you.
Arcadia.
I mean, I like it. There's a lot of key people from Phantasy Star that worked on it.
Yep. I would like to see the big change or improvement that would really like improve it for me is just having visible enemies.
Yeah.
I really don't have patience for random battles anymore, especially when they're that frequent. But at the time, I still got through it. It actually stresses me out. Like, I'm always like... The one thing I will say about Skies of Arcadia was that you could at least prepare for it, because every time a random battle was about to occur, you'd hear the Dreamcast lasers spin up. So you could like quickly get to the menu if you needed to heal up or something and get ready. No, the GameCube version of Skies of Arcadia is not better.
I always thought it was at the time, though, because, I mean, I knew that it didn't have 480p, which is disappointing, but, you know, I always thought it was considered better because it had, you know, the extra content. But, you know, I've never really been into extra content added for like RPG
Yeah,
re-releases.
like after the fact. I mean, that's one of the reasons I don't really care that
So
much.
I gotta interject on this. So yes, it does have less frequent battles, but the frame rate is not better. It's the same between them. They're both pretty much like locked 30 frames per second. The loading times are slightly faster, so there is less battles, slightly faster loading. Those are benefits for the GameCube version. But the main thing that kills it for me, besides the textures, is actually really it's the music. The way they compress the sound on GameCube, it sounds horrible. I mean, compared to Dreamcast, it's like this muffled, low-quality versions of all the music, and the soundtrack's a big part of the game for me. And I feel like
just fall all the way back down.
Yeah, I feel like killing the soundtrack there is a big deal. So
yes, absolutely.
So again, the GameCube version, and also I don't like added content in RPGs that much, like you said. And it's true, while the loading is shorter, it doesn't really
doesn't speed up.
It feels
things.
weird because like they always play those animations before each fight.
Yeah.
But on GameCube they just cut them off.
Oh really?
So it's like it starts to play the animation and then it just cuts and it goes to the battle because it's shorter. So they didn't actually change the animations to fit the faster loading. So So the GameCube version is cool. It has its advantages, but overall it looks worse. It sounds worse. You just get faster.
I mean, if you don't have a Dreamcast, I mean, like I did not at the time. It's still like a must-play game.
Now we're in the same spot.
Okay.
Time for snowboarding, which is super janky. This is. Whoa.
I remember. I mean, it still has to be better than the snowboarding in Sonic 06, right?
Oh yeah, actually it is. Look at the difference here. Like, for a second it was pretty.
I mean, it's a good moment though.
This was cool at the time. The way the music kicks in.
Yeah.
It's interesting that the Avalanche on GameCube sort of has this blue top to it, which fits in more with the Dreamcast color scheme.
You're right. The frame rate's a lot better here on GameCube, though. It's pretty stable.
Better than usual for GameCube, or better than Dreamcast, you mean?
Well, it's just, okay, it's getting kind of, oh, geez, I'm ping-ponging. Never mind, it's not stable on GameCube at all. Okay, what am I doing here? I got way off course. I was looking at Coury's screen there.
That looks like we got another donation, but I can't look really quick.
We got one from Asgia for $5. Hey guys, huge fan of your work. John is also great. DF Retro for the win.
Yeah, I wish I could just do retro videos all the time, honestly.
Speaking of Skies of Arcadia and sound compression, does the Dreamcast version have more voices?
For Skies?
Yeah.
Oh, that's one I don't think so.
But I mean, I assumed not, but I always did think it was like it always seems so weird that there are voices in the game because
it's just like celebration, just like, hey, yeah.
Yeah, but they play like during the story scenes, and they just like every once in a while someone says this random thing, but it's not necessarily what the character is actually saying in the text box. I always thought it was super weird that one of the generals in the game is Charles Martinet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and one of the I don't remember he didn't even have that many lines. He was just like, "Hey, baby." I think that was the guy that was Charles Martinet. Very weird.
The friendly Broski says, speaking of Skies of Arcadia and sound compression, it's a topic I often open with at parties.
I mean, you might be the one and only person that I would talk to at a party in that case. So.
I don't know. I was immediately turned off by the GameCube version as soon as I heard the sound. I mean, as soon as I heard it,
I had no point of reference.
Because I remember getting to the first Pirate Island, and I was like, wait, what is going on? I thought it was the game was messed up. I mean, I guess the game kind of is messed up.
Yeah. We're doing good here on getting through this, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, how far into the game would
We're
you
about
say
to get
you
to
are?
Twinkle Park now. So we got to go back to Station Square. Oh, I just got to get this thing out. There we go.
Sorry, you got time. I haven't found my way out yet. There's a door down here, but I couldn't go through it, it looks like.
No, that opens up later.
Look at him just glitching. Look at him.
It's charmingly bad. Yeah, Sega Rally 2 on Dreamcast and PC.
I gotta climb up the ladder?
Gosh, the Dreamcast version is horrible of Sega Rally 2.
No,
What
I
a,
just kept
what a
again.
disappointing port.
How do I leave the stage once I'm in?
Just start. Go to the menu.
Oh, okay. I mean, they can do that again.
Oh, that's right. I don't want to go to Station Square. It's I think it's I have to go to the waterfall.
Is it quit or is it restart?
Quit. Exactly. I have to go see Knuckles, which is actually so come back out to the main Mystic Ruins here, and we'll go see Knuckles together.
How do I get out?
So go over the frozen
Knuckles?
pond.
Yeah.
So what do you think of seeing this try? So this is the first time you've seen Sonic Adventure
Probably
left.
yeah, okay.
I mean, the first time I've seen this much of it, I've played like that first level with the Orca and stuff like on a demo unit.
Okay.
And that's
Did you
about
ever
it.
hear how he played Sonic 06?
I have to
No.
admit, it doesn't look
Oh,
very
man.
good, but I still kind of want to get it.
John doesn't know how you played Sonic 06.
Okay, go left to the waterfall.
I mean, I'll
Waterfall,
be honest, it doesn't look
waterfall,
tremendously better than Sonic 06 from this vantage point, but,
But John doesn't know, like, the circumstances in which you played Sonic 06.
Right, it was a,
What's up, Knuckles?
I forget if it was for Extra Life, but it was no, I don't think it was. It was our annual Backloggery charity marathon, like maybe 2 years ago, and whoa, that Sonic's facial animation on something bugging you on the Dreamcast was amazing. Yeah, so it was a 24 plus hour charity marathon. I played through the whole dang game.
Oh no.
On PS3, I should note.
Oh dude.
What's up
One
with him not
thing I
having a
will
life bar?
say
It's like he has,
is
like,
like,
numbers.
I thought that the Robotnik fight was actually pretty good at the end of Sonic's story. Like, it was like, I was like playing that, I'm like, wow, this part of the game is not terrible. But like at a certain, like I did Sonic first, and like at a certain point, like I kind of became numb to everything. Like, like it was
the
just
loading,
like
man.
Yeah.
you got in sync with the game's badness.
That's true.
And it was like, it's like getting going was the hardest part because it was just like, wow, this is bad, and I was not prepared for just how bad it really is. But then like what I was doing, like Shadow's story and what was the character's name, Silver or whatever.
Silver's
It was
and
like-
Forces.
At a certain point, it was just like I am at peace with my fate for these 24 plus hours.
Hold it right there, creep.
You've done some pretty cool marathon stuff, though. Didn't you do the like the disaster game?
Yes, that was
Disaster
fun.
Report?
That game is, it's a little janky, but you do eat giant hamburgers to refill your health, and so
Can you say the title of the Japanese version?
for Disaster Day of Crisis.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about Disaster Report.
Oh no.
Zettai Zetsume Toshi. That's a cool series though. There's one on PSP actually.
Aren't they doing like a new one that?
Well, there was the
has,
one
like,
that was canceled because of the tsunami.
right.
I think
It's Irem, right?
yeah,
But don't they have one coming out soon? It's
I think so.
but it's like the disaster is like different like kaiju
Oh yeah, that's
attacking
right.
the
That's
city,
I
like
hate
battling. Like it sounds like an awesome idea.
KS4 is pretty dumb, but I always thought the water was cool, like sort of what they did on the Dreamcast.
Look at the, yeah, I mean,
Like it's neat. At least at the time.
I mean, it's obvious that they were really trying
that's
to.
interesting.
But I mean,
Have fun
most of
with
this
it.
game was programmed on Dreamcast on non-final hardware, from what I understand, because it was so early in the system's life. They were using
Yeah.
like really early dev kits, and like I can imagine it would be very difficult to design a super polished game back then when the hardware's still being developed at that point. Although I will say that that's what always made AM2 so amazing to me, like Yu Suzuki's teams, like they were basically building cutting edge 3D hardware with the help of, Lockheed Martin and designing games around it. And the games themselves were like genre defining, but the hardware had never been used by anybody. So it's like creating these types of fresh new games with high end graphics on hardware that nobody else has used. I can't imagine those guys.
Like, even early on?
I think about what AM2 was doing.
Oh, okay. Like,
That's
because
what I mean.
AM2, like, wasn't a thing until, like,
I'm talking about once mainly when they went. I mean, even with super scalar stuff, but once they went 3D and it was AM2 and all that, like they were always on the cutting edge for like 10 years.
yeah. I mean,
So-
yeah, I mean,
so-
like, that's something, like, would be just awesome video to do, is just about making super scalar games when they were doing it. Because, I mean, especially just scaling in general was such a big feature of consoles, like when the Super NES came out,
Yep.
And here's this system that can do more than one object at a time,
Can someone explain to me how Sonic just like walks on this water?
You gotta believe in him.
Is there-
He's
Oh,
the
yeah.
reincarnation
For this?
of a certain someone. You know? You saw it here first. Yeah, it sounds like
there's that song I always think of. It's like an 80s song. I don't know. I
V-Time.
feel like it's like Richard Marx or something like that, but I don't know if it is. Oh, we got an actual FMV this time.
Yeah, I had heard that the crunch on this game on Dreamcast was just like, like a beyond belief. Like what they
Really?
had to do to get this out in November '98. It's a wonder that it actually worked at all. Like that they actually were able to ship anything at that time is insane.
It always is the weirdest thing to me to think back to how the Japanese launch for the Dreamcast and this game overlaps with Ocarina of Time releasing here. I forget
Yep.
what the gap between Japan and US was for Ocarina of Time, but it just like in my mind, like
It's the same month, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
That videotape that we did, that Feuds videotape.
yeah, that was when it really hit me. I'm like, wow, like I just never thought about Sonic Adventure and Ocarina of Time being contemporaries, but they
Yeah.
are, and it's
So
to me
one-
they're just like worlds apart in time.
A real quick interesting thing is if you go back and get like the original footage of Sonic Adventure during like the reveals and everything, the game was running at 60 frames per second. That's how it was
Really?
shown. But when it shipped, it was obviously 30 with tons of slowdown. That's kind of an interesting thing to show. It's like an echo of what happened with it basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, they couldn't hit their performance targets. Man, look at the texture difference. It's bizarre. They're very different.
do the HD ports run at 60 frames?
Yeah, they do. So now we have to go back to the city.
Are they at all consistent at 60 frames?
Yeah, they are.
The train headed for Station Square will be departing soon.
I win.
Did you import a system before it was released here?
No, but I knew somebody that did.
Yeah.
It was too expensive for me.
Same
I was
here.
in high school. It was like, there's no way I was doing that. But, of course, I did introduce Tri recently to the best Dreamcast launch game ever.
Yes.
Sengoku
Yes.
Turb.
The game looks amazing. I don't understand the thing that's going on, yet I want to play it.
It's kind of horrible, but at the same time, I have a weird kind of like it. I'm not even sure why. No, wait. You have to
It
go.
does look
I went to
good.
the wrong spot, actually. We need to go down to by the casino area. And then we meet Amy down there.
Okay.
So pop through here.
We can go. Yeah. Through the...
So one thing they fixed. So this game this does not use sampling that the Yamaha chip and the Dreamcast could do. This was all pre-recorded music. And on Dreamcast, between every screen here, they have to restart the song.
Yeah.
It stops and then restarts. Which
So it's
is
like-
super distracting, I think.
Not like Red Book audio, but like
It's not.
Similar.
It used the ADX, I guess, format, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I thought Amy was here. What have I done?
Yeah. Ecstatica says
Oh, I haven't-
ADX. Because that's like the screen you see before every single Dreamcast game. It's the ADX screen, right?
Yeah. Wait, what am I? So we did Ice Cap. It should be Twinkle Park. Oh, I think we have to go see Tails at his lab, and we do the flying mini game.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So we actually go to Tails, we get in the tornado, we launch to chase the egg carrier because it appeared in the cutscene, right? And then we play like a little Panzer Dragoon style mini game. So I'll wait for you. So come up to Tails lab.
So what percentage into the game would you say you are at this point?
In Sonic's game, we're about 40%.
Okay,
So
not
now
too
it's
bad.
off to Sky Chase. So head on up here.
Try. What's the question? RPG Nut has a question. I'm just.
I just imported a Japanese fighting game. My question is, are there any downloads on discs from Japan you guys recommend? Well, I mean, we obviously did that episode, which I assume is what you were referring to. I don't know if we have any others that we didn't cover in that episode.
That are from Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, we were gonna cover Okami HD, but then that ended up getting announced before we did the episode.
John just mentioned Rain got a Japanese release, which interests me.
So, Alexander, there some games actually do support kind of Red Book audio. You can play it in the Dreamcast audio CD player. Like Trick Style is one of those games. All the tracks are just stored in that way.
That's Criterion, wasn't it?
Yeah. But Sonic Adventure definitely doesn't use that. It does use the ADX format, which is like the lossy compression format. They also used ADX for video a lot, and as they say there, it's because they had a stake in it. Sega's holding company did. Oh, here we go.
So what's up with sort of the inner ring on the GD-ROMs? Like,
It's like it's CD. You can put it into a CD-ROM drive, and like some games put like wallpapers, like for your
Oh,
PC
okay.
in there.
just the center part.
Is there like a
think
lock
so.
or anything like that? There's no lock on this, right?
Yeah, hold down the button and then let go.
Oh, cool.
Yes, Sonic Adventure DF Retro is going to be a thing. And I was recommended to talk to some of the guys that have been doing some modding as well for this, so I'm going to try to reach out to them and see if I can get something on that.
Yeah, I'd say this stream is giving you a bit of a head start.
Yeah, I just kind of...
He's already done it. Sounds like he's already done it. Done anyways.
Yeah.
I've been
but so,
thinking
you
about
know,
it for a
Be
while, so...
refreshed and gain some new ideas.
I love on-rail shooters.
Oh,
Look at that
I'm kind of into
lens
that lens flare there.
Is there like no delay? Or is that on John's screen or my screen?
Huh?
Was there?
Yeah, you're right. It's not...
Were you seeing the lens flare on John's screen or my screen?
It's on both.
I don't know.
It was on
I
both.
was.
Oh, because it just you said that
I
right as it
mean,
appeared
I
on my
looked at
screen.
the lens flare on both, and it looked awesome.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. When I said Red Book audio, but I guess it's technically not, because Red Book was like a specific standard for CD, like Yellow Book and all that as well.
Yeah.
But it is just like CD digital audio tracks that are stored on some Dreamcast game discs, which meet the same audio standard, I guess. It's the same thing, basically.
I mean, I do have to say, I feel like the lens flare I'm seeing in this game is some of the best of the era.
It drives crazy, that lens flare.
Hey, lens flare was, yeah.
I mean, but not too many games have topped Wave Race 16.
I will grant this game a lot of mercy on DF Retro because DF Retro is about celebrating games of the past when they were released.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't want to like
That's-
rail on games for how they've aged or anything. It's more like, especially knowing how they rushed this game to market. I might rail on some of these ports, but the original I think is a really important game for Sonic Team and Sega at the time, and it was really influential in the Dreamcast. So I like this laser blast here. This is great.
Oh yeah.
That actually reminds me so much of something from Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that whole sequence, really evokes the whole classic Tails playing scenes from the Genesis games.
It does, yeah. Okay, now Sonic's gonna fall and it's gonna look hilarious. He's got his it's like in a 2D Sonic game almost. Are you still running? Here we go. I love that.
Because why not?
Oh yeah, he's right. It does have like a very simple like kind of sound effect.
You're not who I'm looking for.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if he's okay.
Is this the best-selling game on the system?
Oh man, off the top of my head, I don't know. I mean, this seems like it might be, but now we go back to where the casino was, I believe.
I mean, 2 is the only one that
Amy
could be.
should appear.
Okay.
Here it is.
I mean, 2 is the only one that could come close, probably.
Gosh, Sonic is
Well-
such a dick to Amy. He's horrible. But then she's like, this birdie needs help. I'm like,
Yes, Sonic Adventure 1 is the best-selling game on the system.
Amy is not annoying. She's all right. Don't be.
So
don't
wait,
be
why
dis-
does that bird need
Okay,
a
she
bodyguard?
is a stalker though. Like that's true.
Why does the bird need a bodyguard?
Because it's a Sonic Adventure.
Why does the Sonic and the
I need to know my motivation in my Sonic games.
Okay, now we go after this cutscene. We go right back out to the main station square area, out on the street, and that'll trigger a cutscene.
Now, Resident Evil 2 Dreamcast is a little more expensive than I
You
realized.
got
I
that when
got
you
it
were
a few
here
months ago
last
because
year.
I knew it was going to get worse.
You got that when you were here last year, didn't you?
No, I got Resident Evil 3 Dreamcast.
Oh,
I got
okay.
Resident Evil 2
You even
locally,
did an episode on Resident Evil.
like maybe half a year
I'm
ago.
going to. Actually,
Wait, the first one or the?
I'm gonna do the first one. I already have a full playthrough of the Saturn version recorded. Okay, we should go. I think go to the Twinkle Park elevator behind you. Stop!
Over here. Oh,
the
right,
left.
yeah.
And then she's gonna scream, and he's gonna be like, "What?" And it's actually just because he's excited because it's Twinkle Park.
No problem. He's just a chunk of cheese.
How is the? Because I mean, I did a side-by-side comparison with the PS1 and the Saturn version of Resident Evil 1.
Oh yeah.
And like the difference in like how they do polygons, like you can definitely tell in that a lot.
Big time.
But at the same time, like I don't think the Saturn's way of doing Resident Evil 1 is bad. Like there's a certain appeal to its
Yeah.
look.
Oh man.
Oh, okay, yeah. This tube's interesting. Oh man, we didn't see it because of the way the transparency sorting works on Dreamcast. You can like see through multiple layers of the transparent tube
Yeah.
in ways I believe on GameCube it doesn't work properly. There's some glitches with that stuff later, which is fascinating. So let's see how this compares lighting wise.
Oh wow, look at the floor, like the difference in it.
Oh, there's a lot of difference just in the texture work here too.
Yeah.
Oh wow. There's just like no character to it on the GameCube version.
It's very flat.
Yeah, like why would they change the color so drastically?
Well, I mean, a lot of it was the change to the way it worked. Okay, wow, it looks it's super bland on the GameCube, isn't it?
Yeah. It's such a strange decision.
Then you jump into one of these things, and then you can drive it by holding the jump button, which feels super weird. And just go straight through. Look at the way the lights work on Dreamcast. There's like light, just textures. It used to show like light cones.
This is kind of fun. I mean, a lot of this stuff you can see why they did what they did in 2.
Yeah.
Where all these levels like
I
became
was
like their
looking
own
at your
mini
screen.
games.
So one thing that's cool about this level here is it remixes a song from Sonic 3D Blast, or it uses
Ah.
Really?
like the Genesis version because that was composed by June,
Oh, okay.
and
Well, the Saturn version soundtrack is a lot better than the Genesis version.
but still,
Yeah.
this is a cool remix of that. There's a couple songs in here I think that were originally in 3D Blast.
It's interesting. Maybe they felt like nobody, like not enough people played it.
Yeah, I'm sure they
So-
did not.
Felt like they could get away with it. Whoa!
This track part feels what the.
You just like go through the ground.
I've never freaking. I don't. Wow. I'm like half not paying full attention, I guess. But also
Wow.
Sonic Adventure physics get weird.
Yeah. I mean, if they can even be called that,
Oh yeah.
because half the time they just like don't even work like anything.
You can really see the mip-map issues on the Dreamcast version, especially on the checkered floor. Well, you can see it on the GameCube too, but
Trilinear versus bilinear. Oh yeah.
But no, I mean it's really noticeable in this.
It's pretty bad on Dreamcast. I agree.
I mean, it's just like a flat, like a straight line.
yep.
What, did I just get a strike? The way it's giving me money, it looks like, or, I'm sorry, rings.
Sonic's coins. The coin Sonic.
What is the origin of like that? The name Sanic? I, mean, I have no idea. Like I don't follow
Probably
it. So.
the gotta go fast drawings, the memes
Oh.
around that, or like the Sonic running stupid stuff that people drew. I think it's
Yeah.
all related to that.
This is the first one that used the homing shot, right?
Yeah. I don't
They
think-
they integrated that into the 2D games, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
right?
4.
Yeah. Ooh, 4.
4 was definitely a mess, but it was exciting when it was released, when it was
Yeah.
announced.
Now, Sonic 4 Episode 2, while still not awesome, I do like quite a bit better than regular 4.
Did episode
Did
2
they
end in
never
a
finish
cliffhanger?
it?
Did they never finish?
I don't know if you can call it a cliffhanger, but I suppose.
You know, I kind of caught it there at the last second, but the water on the GameCube version almost looked like it did a similar thing to some of the Dreamcast style.
Yeah. I think this is one of the this is one of the few areas in the game where they just use a texture on the Dreamcast version.
Or you mean the GameCube version?
GameCube version, yeah.
Yeah,
It looks
that's
good there.
interesting. I mean, it looks like they mixed the styles though, because you do see a bit of the displacement, especially when you're underwater.
Yep.
That's interesting. It kind of looks better that way, blending the two styles more.
I agree.
This level actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The platforming is very fascinating in this game because it's so it's not scripted like in the same way that a lot of the other stuff was in the more modern 3D games. I mean, there's obviously a lot of scripted segments in this game, but it's just kind of like it feels interesting. It's very different. You can really tell they were trying to do some stuff. Wow, that's a terrible statement. They're trying to do some stuff. Well, yeah. This is a pretty ambitious game for the time, especially with the 6 character things.
And you said in the time allotment that they had to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that things would have been a lot different if they had maybe like decided to do like half the characters? I mean, it's really surprising that they weren't like totally cut out given the constraints.
I agree. I don't know. I will say one of the thrilling things when back in the day was after you play through the 6 stories, you unlock the 7th, which is Supersonic.
Ah.
And even though it's pretty unpolished, like the final Supersonic level, you're like racing through the flooded city streets, blasting through a Supersonic to like take on Chaos.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's pretty epic because that's when they kick in like the vocal song.
Yep.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, this is good.
I mean, there is a lot of vocals. Like every character has a vocal song.
Of course.
And they're all good.
They are great.
Yeah, I always really liked Tails.
Oh, the lighting here is super flat on GameCube. Let's see how it looks on Dreamcast.
Welcome to Twinkle Park.
Oh yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh wow, look at that.
I've lost
Big
Amy.
difference.
I bet that robot hauled
Oh
her.
yeah.
I'd better catch her before it does.
Let's wait and see.
Look at that.
They're very different, yeah.
We go through here.
No, we just go back out this way. We're done. Next up is the...
It's interesting that the levels don't have like boss battles for the most part.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so this card drops right here. This is great because pacing wise, because we've been doing all that stuff. You just get the card. No, back. That little island there. Grab the card. So weird. Card key in Sonic.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Oh, you gotta pick it up. Come on.
Or what not be, whatever. And then take it over. Follow me. It's right here. It's literally this garage door. Walk up to the little, see ID check. Then you take the elevator. And that's it, next level.
See, in Speed Highway, the second half of this level has probably my favorite song in the game. That's the At Dawn.
Oh, is this is the level that there was a Generations segment based on?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is kind of like the iconic Sonic, like, like the highway. Like it's really about
Showpiece level.
Yeah. Although, like, I don't think that's true about the first Sonic. The music in like the Stardust or whatever it is in the Stardust Speedway is in Sonic Adventure, or not Sonic, in Sonic CD. And that one has really good music.
Oh yeah.
But the is it Starlight, the Starlight Zone or something like that?
Yeah.
In the first one, and the music is kind of disappointing. It's like kind of like mellow and.
It's pretty mellow, but I like it.
Yeah. I just clipped through and I ended up on top of it.
Welcome to Sonic Adventure.
I started running like
Wow,
I was like, whoop.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Did that just
You
happen?
can make it.
I know.
Oh, that was so cool.
Helicopter.
I should have been on AGDQ. Yes, and just go boop. I saw that somebody
acing this game.
What?
You're just owning it.
I know, I was doing pretty good there until now. I watched the guy on AGDQ, beat the first Ratchet and Clank in 21 minutes earlier today. Like glitching through it. It was pretty cool.
Whoa, somebody mentioned Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, like, as the Patrick Swayze movie?
I hope so, because that's the best.
His name is Dalton.
Although I'm also a fan of Only the Strong. Have you seen that?
I have not.
The Capoeira Maestre. It's like dancing, fighting. It's the best. I love that movie.
Wow, the map line was like in front of Sonic while he was on the
Oh yeah.
And this is a big.
On the
This is
elevator.
awesome too. And the big awesome, like the awesome thing in this level is when you're running down the side of the building.
Which I'm doing now.
Oh,
that is pretty awesome.
wait, how did Roadhouse even come up?
Somebody put it in
I know, but someone just
I don't know.
said without context. I mean, because that's like a good way to. It's a good conversation starter. It's like, guys,
Whoa, somebody
Roadhouse.
just said Sonic Mania sucks.
I don't know.
You can just get right off the chat, man. I don't know what's going on here. There's some bad. That is a bad.
I mean,
take.
is there any Sonic fan out there that you think like was disappointed with Sonic Mania?
The bad ones. I mean, no, that's okay. I'm surprised that any Sonic fan would not love it, to be honest. But if you're not into the 2D games, maybe. But man, I don't even.
I mean, the awesome thing about this is that it's upside down too.
Yep.
It's very much it's a definite like wow moment.
Oh, this section right here at dawn, one of the best parts of the soundtrack.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite track.
It's so good.
So we can't hear it right now, but
The waterfall, well, not the fountain. So,
I mean,
this is the bell tower. Oh yeah, you're about to.
yeah.
That looks. I don't know.
Here a little
Everything
bit.
there looks. I feel like when you get there on Dreamcast, it's going to look a lot more interesting.
Get where?
To where you were at the bell tower.
Oh yeah, let's find out.
Because I don't know, it just looked kind of. Actually, I really like that floor brick texture on the Dreamcast. I guess you're probably past it now that I've said it, but it looked pretty good. All of a sudden, I'm hearing some really thumping tunes. I didn't hear any music.
I just
until-
turned on the music in here, so we could hear the music for this level. Hopefully, it's not going through to the chat or to the stream. I don't think it is though.
How
it sounds
is Sonic
fun.
Mania
Alright.
rubbish? I can't even comprehend that. I mean,
Oh, there it is.
I'm glad you turned that up for that.
I realized that we could have had it on the whole time, probably, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, the music in both of the Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 is probably the best part about them. At least to me now.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, I'm pretty good at, like, Troy and I are both pretty good at, you know, putting ourselves in the mentality of, you know, like,
The
of the
times.
time when they came out.
Yeah.
Going back to the hotel. You think Sonic lives in the hotel?
Yes.
When we were at dinner the other night, that guy was like, our waiter was like, I live right over there, and there's something cool about hotel living. Like,
Living in a hotel.
yeah. Where am I going from here?
Go back outside to the other. No, not there, not there. You get across from there. Yeah, this way, that way. And then there's a cutscene, which we just did.
Amy? Oh man, where can she be?
If you're actually paying more attention to the game than you're really able to do while you're playing a stream, is it confusing to figure out where to go next, or is it actually
Kind
No.
of, your first time, I thought it was.
Yeah,
The first time it was definitely tough.
I could see that. Okay, I think you want to go back up to go into the train.
How many more levels are there?
Hey there, Bolt Brain. Let's see here. There's the volcano one, Red Mountain. There's Red Mountain. There's one on Robotnik's Fortress, and then I guess Final Egg. So maybe like 3.
Yeah, 'cause someone was asking if we're gonna beat it, and probably not.
No.
I mean, it's 11:30 now, so probably not.
Exactly.
Probably do like, is it Red Mountain that's next? Probably do that one.
Yep.
Hey there,
Wrap it up then.
you better give Amy to me or I'll squash ya.
Okay, so actually 4 levels. 'Cause there's another Sky Chase, and then Sky Deck. I forgot about Sky Deck and Lost World, of course.
What's happening here?
Have you ever watched the Sonic OVA from the 90s?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Is it? I mean, it's classic
The animation's good. The animation basically looks like Sonic CD intro animation, but further refined.
Sonic. That's awesome.
Okay, so
Shoot, I've lost
after
her
this, you go back to where the ice level was. Remember that door down the hallway?
Yes. So that's
So-
gonna open up now.
It's open up. So yeah, Sky Deck in the original Japanese release from 1998 is like so messed up. It's really bad. The frame rate is so low. It's just a choppy mess. So this is interesting when you actually get out here, because there's like, I think there's a bunch of trees on Dreamcast, from what I remember, that are like missing here. Let's find out. Okay, yeah, look at all these trees on Dreamcast.
Oh wow.
Like,
what?
there's no
It's like a
trees.
totally
They're all
different
gone
place.
on the GameCube.
Interesting.
I mean, the GameCube looks okay in its own right, the way they did the mountains and the textures, but it's like a totally different area.
Yeah.
And then up
Like
here,
it totally ruins the feel.
it sure does.
Not up here. Up here?
You have
That's
to go
very
get a power
strange.
up, which is over there to the right. Right up there. Light speed dash towards an enemy. And then you do it on the monkey cage. Yes, GameCube does need speed tree.
What's the tree?
It's middleware used in a lot of modern games to essentially do cool 3D trees, like nice trees. Middleware is where it's at. Somebody should do Sonic middleware, Sonic Wear.
How do I do? Yeah.
Do the charge up like always. And then it'll do it on the enemy.
Oh.
I wouldn't say most PS1 games are 10 to 20 FPS actually. I found that to not be true. 2D games were of course all 60, but 3D games 20 to 30 on average. And there's a lot more PS1 games running at a stable 30 than you'd expect, and actually there's like 120 PS1 games that are 3D that run at 60 frames a second. Hedgehog engine is kind of Sonicware, actually. It's a good point. So this is the Redmond stage, which lost all its color on GameCube. It's like super green and red on Dreamcast, but it's just kind of like brown and dead on the GameCube.
But isn't that maybe kind of the intent here? I'm wondering.
No try. It's supposed to. No, actually, I don't know.
I mean, I'm looking at all these dead trees, so I don't know.
You
I
got
don't know.
me.
Maybe they made a good artistic.
But it's called Red Mountain. It's supposed to be colorful and red. The stage has great music too.
I mean, when do you think was the kind of the moment where Sonic Team got more confused about like what they? Oh, that doesn't work. Like how to make a really good Sonic game.
I think kind of Sonic Heroes development, like something went weird there. Like they started to get into this mode where I feel like they felt like, oh, we have to make gimmicks and do things to make these games longer. Maybe I wish I.
I remember.
Oh, so Dana's asking on there. So I believe, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm fairly sure that Sonic Heroes uses renderware. Not this. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are not renderware. That's an in-house engine for sure from Sega. But I think Sonic Heroes actually might be renderware.
But they look
that
pretty,
might make sense why it was a little weird, because
but
Japanese developers weren't really used to using not their own engines at the time.
Right. I think the reason and again, I'm not 100% certain, but I think the reason they used renderware was actually because of going multi-platform.
Right.
Because all his consoles supported it.
Yeah, I remember, thinking that game looked pretty good before it came out. What was the first 3D Sonic game to hit 60 frames per second?
First Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay.
Is it Dreamcast version?
Yeah, it's 60.
Is it pretty stable?
I regret selling that.
What's that? Oh, it's
pretty...
it's rock solid most of the time. I mean, there's parts where it can slow down, but it's pretty uncommon. It's very.
What about the GameCube version?
GameCube version's fine as well, but the Dreamcast version has like sort of the stencil style shadows, and that's missing on GameCube.
Is it
But
just
that's like the main.
It's a hardware
shadows
feature
on the
Dreamcast.
GameCube version?
What's that?
Just the circle shadows?
No, on Dreamcast you have full self shadows.
Right, but what I mean is,
is it just
on the characters themselves?
Right. I think it's circle shadows under them. Well, no, actually, no. I think it's like full, pretty high quality shadows.
That sounds like a
I need
super
to double
advanced
check.
feature for the Dreamcast.
What's that?
It sounds like a very advanced feature for the Dreamcast.
Oh, the Dreamcast could support that in hardware.
Oh.
That's how they did the shadows in Crazy Taxi as well, like on the cars.
I have played the Dreamcast version of Crazy Taxi, but I can't say I remember it to that extent.
Isn't the Dreamcast version of Crazy Taxi is pretty much the best one too?
It's great.
Because it has like the original music and all the original locations.
Yep.
They were removed.
I used to have the GameCube version of that.
Even the GameCube version. I mean, maybe did that remove like Pizza Hut and
I don't remember. I think
Tower
so.
Records and stuff?
I think so. Yes, exactly. Modifier volumes. That's what was escaping me. So this is interesting. This is one of the biggest differences. I'll wait till you get down here. So look at these skulls here on the GameCube. You see that try with the you will with the fire and the skulls?
Yeah.
It's one of the most
pretty dark, but I can see it. On the Dreamcast, I don't know how it was on the GameCube, but on the Dreamcast where Coury is going along those monkey bars, the wall texture next to him is really bad.
Oh yeah. Wait, so frame rate on Game Boy games, I'm just gonna say 60 frames per second, but it's like whatever the refresh rate of the Game Boy screen is, it's close to 60, and most Game Boy games are 60 or that match the refresh rate. But is
that where you are right now?
Yeah, so go forward a little bit, just a little more. Check out the difference on the skulls.
Holy cow! Yeah.
Like on GameCube, it's just like
it's almost hard to even make out what they are. But yeah, that like underlighting on the
So that's part of the lighting
cool.
engine that's featured on. Well, they could change the vertex colors on the Dreamcast there, whereas over here on the GameCube, that stripped out and it's just that.
Of course, it doesn't make any sense. Where's the light coming from? But it looks really cool.
Yeah, right. Like it's like dark and just ugly on the GameCube. There, it looks wrong.
Yeah.
Like you could just like walk by those without even really thinking about them. But on the Dreamcast, you're like, oh, that looks cool.
It's like
Yeah.
spooky.
Like, I could see that you could pass through that area on the GameCube and not even really be sure they were skulls. Like, they were, because just their form is very,
Oh,
Flop.
you already.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yeah, even out here, like this, it looks so different. I'm surprised the frame rate is so poor on GameCube, actually, or so inconsistent, I should say. The GameCube should have been able to fly through this no problem. It just seems poorly coded. Or, I should say incomplete. That's more fair. I wonder what the development schedule looked like for this. I can't imagine that they were happy with this port. But it may have been a function of porting from Dreamcast and just the time necessary to get it done. Although I think some of the lighting stuff was in there originally, but and like prototypes, but stripped out.
yeah, because it just kind of occurred to me that this actually came quite a bit after the Sonic Adventure 2 port, right?
Yeah.
Like years later.
Like a year or two.
It felt like a long time at the time.
Because Adventure 2 was
Early on.
I mean, one of the main reasons I got it was because it was just kind of available early in the GameCube's life, and I just wanted something new to buy, you know?
Sure.
You had Sonic Adventure 2?
I used to.
That
I
seems
told
like-
you I've played through Adventure 2.
What did you think of the camera in it?
I don't remember a lot of thoughts about it. I mean, I remember it
They
was
fixed it
considered
in there.
really bad at the time, but
Because I hated
I mean,
it
I
how
thought-
you couldn't.
I remember thinking the game was playable enough.
As soon as you move, it always drove me crazy because it always like kind of locks back, like moves back in the place when you as soon as you start moving.
Well, I always thought it worked pretty well on Sonic stages, and even the Tails ones, because the camera kind of locked into where you need to go. So I never
I mean,
you didn't
Tails
really need
was
to
much
adjust it that
slower
much.
gameplay. Yeah, I don't have the GameCube version anymore, but I kind of want to get the Dreamcast version of it
It's, like,
sometime,
so
just
far down
because
already.
if not, I guess.
I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, there is a free camera mode on GameCube that I have neglected to turn on.
Oh really?
I haven't really messed with it though.
It is so strange to me that
Bird.
the Dreamcast controller ended up with like as few buttons as it has and no second stick.
Yep.
Like it was like pretty
I'm not a
clear
fan
that
of, like,
that's what all the
triggers.
competitors
Yeah.
were going to be doing, you know?
Yeah, I never understood that.
What are some other that got Dreamcast games that got ports? Like how was the Dreamcast port of Quake 3? How does that compare?
It's good. It's 30 frames per second, but it looks nice. It's
For such
very
a fast
consistent.
game too. I was big into that game.
The PS2 version though is 60 frames a second, with the little.
And that was a
slowdown.
launch game. In the US it was. Wasn't Quake 3 a launch game?
It was not, but it was early. I believe it was ported by Bullfrog to the PS2. So I think
You
the
mean
guys,
like Populous?
yeah,
Bullfrog?
but like late Bullfrog when
Yeah.
kind of not the same. But I'm slipping the name on it, but the people that ported Quake 3 to Dreamcast, I think, did they do the Quake 2 port to PlayStation? Raster Productions, I think. They did. They did a good job. Those guys are smart.
Quake 3 is a good game. I didn't play 4. Quake 4.
Very different. It's made by Raven. I like it. I think it's cool.
You think Quake will get rebooted the same way as Doom did?
I hope so. Yeah, of course, Dreamcast version of Quake 3 is missing a lot of polygons.
It had mouse and keyboard support though.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Like that. Like the mouse kind of came out with it.
Yep. And I have no reason why Bullfrog is associated with the PS2 port. It never made sense to me. I don't know why they took that on. Maybe just contract work. Or I haven't looked that closely into that situation yet. But I do know that it does run at 60 frames a second. Most of the time. Which is cool. But it has fairly long loading times because they shipped it on a CD.
Yeah.
Yes, Hammerhead did Quake. So wait, Raster Productions, did they do Quake 2 on N64 then? Or... I'm blanking on that. Because I covered it in that one video. It was Hammerhead that did... Because Hammerhead did PlayStation 1 Quake 2, and they also did Shadow Master.
It's weird that the side of his plane has Sonic's.
Oh yeah. I always thought this rail stage looked cool.
Yeah, I love rail shooters in general. Sadly, a genre that you don't really see much from anymore. Stry and I are huge fans of Sin and Punishment 2.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh
Love that.
gosh, so good.
That and Mario Galaxy, like it's like Sin and Punishment 2 could be like the best game on the game or on the Wii.
It's like it's at least number 2.
Yeah.
But when I'm actually playing Sin and Punishment 2, I'm like, this is the best game on the GameCube. And then when I'm not playing it, I'm like, nah, Mario Galaxy's better.
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
So good.
And cheap if you can find it.
Oh
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was a big flop.
Yeah, but then sometimes big flops, have not that many copies out there.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of copies of it. Why did we skip MagFest?
Oh, it's so...
Blabler is asking why we skipped MagFest. Mainly because
I think the big reason was that just kind of a lot of our friends that we initially started going to MagFest with, a lot of them couldn't make it last year, which kind of made the whole thing feel a lot less fun. And even fewer people that we know were planning to come this year, so it was just kind of like between that and the fact that that hanging out wasn't going to be as fun, and getting a hotel room has been a pain the past few years, and like the vendor room, like we've like gotten really spoiled by conventions like Too Many Games and Missouri Game Con because their vendor rooms are just so much better.
And we're just in a place now where we go to a convention, like we want to buy games. Like that's the main thing we want to do is look through the games. And I think there's probably a good chance, like we will be at Too Many Games this year again.
Oh yeah,
how many games
I mean,
are there?
I'm not even. That's like not a question in my mind. Like Too Many Games is like my main con right now.
You ever have the instance where you spend more on a game just because you see it in person? You're like, I'm just gonna get it because it's right here.
Right, because it's like you can see it, it's good condition, you don't have to sort of fill in the gaps in your imagination like you're looking on eBay. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't pay, an exorbitant amount, but now that's actually, I kind of like the look of those GameCube textures there that you were like kind of zoomed in on, like the wood texture on the deck. Like, I think that looks pretty good on GameCube.
How's it look on Dreamcast? The deck texture.
I mean, they look pretty similar. I mean, obviously the coloring is different, but I mean, it's hard to say if they hold up at a close up. But I feel like that holds up better at close range than most of the other textures.
Yeah. I think this is probably what we should call it, right?
Yeah, it's an adventure stage, right? It's not even.
Right. We still have a ways to go.
Get a load of this.
Oh gosh, it's almost midnight.
I know. We've been at it for a while. You know, it's a unique stream, so it's fun to keep it going.
Yep.
Going longer.
Have to check on the weather. Hopefully it didn't start freezing rain.
Is it supposed to rain?
It doesn't do freezing rain, but like after midnight.
Yeah.
This makes it harder for us to get to the bridge.
Yeah, it's 36 now. It's warmer than it has been. Well, that was fun. I mean, I can't say that I've played this game much since.
Back in the day?
Yeah, since 2000 probably is. I mean, I certainly played it more just now than I have, and since, you know, because I definitely played through it, like all the stories, like within the first month that it came out, but that was a very busy month because Final Fantasy VIII came out like the day before the Dreamcast launched.
That's right.
So it was, you know, that came out, I started it, and then the Dreamcast, you know, and most of my time was spent playing Soul Calibur. Like, like the weapon master mode.
Well, and Blue Stinger.
Blue Stinger! I always think of this old, like, trailer for it, like, before it came out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, the Blue Stinger. But then, you know, I finished this before I went back to Final Fantasy VIII, which I never finished.
Oh, yeah. FF8's pretty good. I'm a big fan of that.
See, I'm not big. I'm not, but
I love it.
I think it's great.
oh, cool. So it does have a free camera,
Yeah. So look,
and it stays there.
I don't really like it that much because it's like, I actually don't like using the C stick on
Yeah.
GameCube for camera. It just feels weird to me.
I assume it's non-inverted horizontal.
That's the thing
Or
with
I
a lot of
mean,
these old
rather,
games.
I mean inverted horizontal.
It's fully inverted
Drives me crazy.
in both directions.
I can't do it
I mean,
anymore.
back in the
I used to
day,
not
that
have
would
any
have
problem
been
with it.
totally normal, but I'm just like not used to it anymore.
Options. You can customize various options.
I always loved the sound test where it shows the
yeah.
disc.
Exactly.
Is it a GD-ROM on there?
What do you mean?
Oh, okay. Oh, is it only the second one that used to do it, or that it does it where it shows the disc
Oh, the disc.
spinning? Maybe it might be only part
That's
2.
the second one.
All right. So, any last-minute questions from the chat?
Wait for the chat to catch up so we can see that.
I'm gonna play this background. Do we prefer the original DS or the DS Lite? I never actually really played on the original DS.
I got an original first, and I do like the light better.
I feel like I kind of like the clicky buttons on the original, but I go back and forth on clicky buttons and not clicky buttons. Like I don't know. I don't really have a firm preference between the two styles. It does feel weird on like a console controller maybe, but I do like it on the Switch controller, the clicky.
To get the two-screen stream, I have 2 capture cards, and you know, one is going through the FrameMeister to a capture card, and the other is going through the OSSC to a capture card.
So also to answer, my opinion of Breath of the Wild is that it's an excellent game. It's extremely well made, but I'm kind of sick of open world games. Like,
Yeah.
I like that a lot for an open world game,
Yes.
but even still, I still ran into like open world game syndrome where it's just, I just don't like running across giant worlds forever.
See, to me, it was such a different formula. I mean, it wasn't
a
formula. I mean, it made its own formula.
I can
open
agree.
world game.
That it wasn't
It was
populated
different.
by stuff. It just felt like you were like an explorer.
Exactly.
It
No, I really
wasn't
respect what it did.
Assassin's Creed, Rockstar style.
No, I agree, and I do think it fixed some of those problems, not all, but it still didn't catch me the way it caught you guys.
Yeah, but I mean, as we said, like in our video, it was a big part of it was like our circumstances.
That's
And,
what you
and
said,
It was
yeah.
very much, like being a kid and talking about stuff on the playground. I mean, that's like the best way.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Maybe I will play Sonic Mania on stream. Maybe for the first time. Maybe I'll buy it and then play it for the first time on here.
Yeah, well, see, we need you to buy it because if you don't buy it, then they won't announce a physical version.
I know, that's how it always happens. But that hasn't happened with Freedom Planet.
Here's the thing about Sonic Mania. It's so good.
You'll buy it twice.
You can buy it twice. You
Yeah.
can buy it thrice. Feel
Yeah.
good about it.
I mean, like Cuphead, if that gets, I'm sure it will be released physically, like because they did it with Ori in the Blind Forest, so I feel like they will do it with Cuphead, and I'll buy that twice.
Yeah, exactly.
People
Yeah,
are
Sonic-
asking, what is the puppy's name? The puppy's name is Sandy.
Oh,
And it's a kind of a reference to Final Fantasy.
It
11.
is a very tangential reference to Final Fantasy 11, yes, because the city of Sandoria in Final Fantasy 11, all the players in the game just called it Sandy. So little indirect game reference there.
Looks like Retro Morgan started a backloggery.
Ah.
A lot of people have been. I've had a lot of people add me on there in the last week. Oh, Blabler, thank you for the $2.
yes.
So is that gonna do it?
Yeah, I guess so.
When's DF Retro Jag?
When I have time.
You're not excited about it.
DF Retro
You're excited
Jag
about
in
it.
it.
You're
I'm excited about it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, more than the 32X, you think?
Why are you standing behind me, Fussy?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. Those are a big undertaking.
Yeah.
I've already started. Like I have some stuff captured, but it's a time sink.
Yeah.
If I could devote more time to making those episodes, it'd be easier. But
You like something like that. You just gotta do
I just do in chunks.
like one game a night or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that how did you do the
32X? I just in all my free time I was just playing 32X, and then I went back and replayed games that had ports on other systems, and captured those as well. So I was just playing a lot of 32X, but I was really excited. So
Have you seen the X3DO developer?
No,
That's not the Game Hut.
I haven't seen that yet.
That's not Game Hut, is it? Have you seen
so.
Game Hut? That's the guy who worked on Sonic 3D.
Yeah,
Traveler Tales
that guy's
guy.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the same guy. But yeah, I definitely want to see that. But yeah, I'm getting back to work this week, probably like Thursday or Friday when I get home, back in Germany.
When you catch up from your jet lag.
It's going to be rough catching up from that. So it's been nice having time off.
Jag
though.
lag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out. I'm glad.
Yeah, it was
I know
fun.
that we've hung out a bunch since you've been here, but we haven't had any time to stream until now.
The holidays do that.
Yep. All right.
Cool.
We good?
All right.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
All right, good night.